Okay, welcome guys. We've got green lights, so I'm guessing that means that we're live, which it is. That's good. Okay, welcome to episode 62 of this ChatTactic session. Hi everyone. I can see that Jemison's then got a message there in battle mode as well. Jemison's saying, free tip of the day. I've seen Oppenheimer in cinema today and it's amazingly good. 100 recommend if you like Christopher Nolan movies. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing that actually. I've got it's sort of funny. It's just going to sound weird, but I heard that people were going to see Oppenheimer and Barbie on this. Like there was a thing where there was basically you would see both movies back to back, and I sort of was surprised at that because. But I was going to go and see the Barbie movie with my wife, and. So anyway, but then this other mate of mine wants to see Oppenheimer, so I may have to. His wife wants to see Barbie as well. So anyway, we'll figure it out. It's between Oppenheimer and Barbie. So I hope you're all doing well. Hi, Quiet Sprints and William and Hugh, David, Viren Games, Alex, Dave, Maladroit. Welcome, guys. Oppenheimer says Jamison. Is that really what it's called, Barbenheimer? It's I saw it somewhere where people was, and I thought, there must be the completely opposite sort of movies. I saw the shorts to Barbie, and I thought that looked really hilarious. So I was sort of happy to see either one of them. But this friend of mine does want to see Oppenheimer pretty desperately. So Quiet Sprints is saying, any chance for DF Hack tutorial in the near future? Didn't see a new one after this. Yes, absolutely. In fact, there's bigger and bigger things coming all the time with DF Hack, and it's funny you say that. I was just looking at that today, thinking this is actually really worth covering again because there's been a lot of changes. I've sort of been waiting for the Legends mode to come into the game, but that could be a long time off. And DF Hack can't do Legends mode until the base game has got it in there, so it really can't do what it needs. I don't like just saying hi. Was it Lex? I think was the Chinese writing person. I can't remember. Sorry, which name you prefer. I don't like just saying Chinese writing. Bob Rupert saying hello, guys, to Oppenheimer. Skirts to Barbie. Yeah, guys to Oppenheimer, skirts to Barbie. I don't know. Like I heard that Barbie looked like it was a fun sort of game. So a fun sort of movie. Anyway. So I've been away on holidays for the last few days. So it was my wife's birthday, so we went away to an Airbnb in the country and just sort of had a relaxing weekend, which was great. Hi, Gary, and. So Quiet Sprints is saying, nice, looking forward to it. Yeah, look, I do want to actually go through that today if we get time. There's a few games coming out tomorrow, actually, which I thought I'd actually cover those because you may not have heard about them or come across them before. So Crimson Tactics is one of them, so Rise of the White Banner. There's good and bad in both these games, I've got to say. Not so much bad, but just there's good things. There's some very good things in both games, and then there's some things where it just could be done a little bit better. Hi CB, how you going? So I'll start with Crimson Tactics, and I think we'll just sort of move there. Hi Dom UK as well. Crimson Tactics brings you an epic adventure in the form of a turn-based tactical RPG set in the medieval high fantasy world. Witness a massive political disruption through the lives of different characters and fight for the fate of Wendale. Now, it's a funny game because it's so heavily story-driven. So I don't think it's got like I don't think there's much free reign that you can actually have in the game. I've been playing it for, actually, how long have I played this one for? 3 hours. So I've been playing for 3 hours already with this actual game. Just yesterday, actually, was when I actually picked it up. But it's and it comes out tomorrow. So and I don't know what the price is going to be. Sorry. So this is sort of one. This is I've got to get these games from the devs just so I can make some content. And I will be making content about this. In fact, I might even show you what the game looks like because I think if you like tactical games, this game has got a lot to offer in that sort of sense. So I do want to sort of go and cover that a little bit. It's there's different development logs. I should actually read through some of these, I think. So it's quite nicely done in its combat. It's just so heavily story driven that you don't have much free options. It's not like an open world from what I can sort of gather. So that's sort of one of the things that I am a little bit on the fence about with it. That's probably the only thing, actually, because the combat is pretty damn good, the way it sort of does work, and even the way that there is replay value, but it's the story, I think, does dictate. But I have noticed that there are certain things where if you make a decision, it will actually then change the story based on your decision. So I do think there is replay value to it, if having said all that. Join me in the sun is saying, hi Daz, loving your channel. Currently working through your second front series as I've purchased the game and I'm learning by following along. Thanks for the great content. Not a problem. Actually, second front's a game that's got another lot of content coming. Actually, when does that come? Let's have a look, because I thought that was pretty close. Beef and Bully Biscuits, this one here. When do we get that? Just coming soon. We don't actually know. This is a Microprose game. I'm looking forward to this, actually. I'm looking forward to this. So sometimes David, the PR guy from Microprose, pops in as well. So if he does pop in, I might ask him if he's got any inside knowledge about that. So anyway, that's going to be the next one coming for second front, but we'll see what happens with that one there. Anyway, let's go across to Crimson Tactics. So I might just open the game up and sort of show you what it looks like. So Miguel is saying, hi Daz, Jagged Alliance 3 is great. Any content coming our way? Yes, there will be. I've been live streaming it, and I have already put up 3 videos, I think. Just sort of how to play it, I think, was sort of like the way I do it. I've got to be careful whenever I do like a Let's Play series. It kills my channel. Like, it actually, because the popularity of those videos goes down pretty fast. So I've got to be judicious about what I put up. I'm in two minds as to whether to just not bother, like just not care about the algorithm at YouTube or not, you know, because things have certainly changed on YouTube a lot in the last couple of years. Like it's very hard to sort of find videos that are going to actually do well, you know, unless you're doing one-off videos. But anyway, let's actually have a bit of a look at Crimson Tactics, and we'll just have a bit of a look and see what you think, because I do think that this will appeal to a lot of you guys. It may look like it's actually, I should point out, a bit of a warning. It's fairly brutal. This game sort of doesn't look like it. It's a weird mix, because it's one of the most brutal games I've played. Yet it doesn't look like it. It looks like a little kid's game, which is sort of, it's almost a bit of a bother, you know, like that's actually doing that one. I'll just start this thing up. Let's get into it. Like, it really doesn't pull punches. Oh, hang on, did I not... I know I set things up. I've just... my screen's just gone a bit funny. There we go. I think we're okay. I think we're okay again. No, it wants to go back into a different mode. I'm just going to get all my stuff back online again. Just go to the options, just make sure that my display is... Yeah, we'll just move it back down to 1080p. It's easier to show it, I think, that way. Yes, we do want to change those. That way I can at least see the chat. Otherwise the chat disappears underneath my actual monitor. Alright, that'll do. We'll apply that. Actually, we'll just go to audio. Just bring this down a little bit. It doesn't have a hell of a lot of voice acting. It does have a bit. Just bring the music down a little bit. Right, that'll do. We'll apply all that stuff. Yes, we do want to apply those changes. Just go back. I knew nothing much about the game. I had seen it when it came out as a demo, but it looks better than the demo. And the demo, the graphics didn't look as good as what this one actually does do. If I just go to continue... Actually, if I go to... Should I go to new game? I think if I go to new game... Yeah, so this is faster-paced battles with a focus on micro-tactics. It's intended for new players to the genre who are looking for a more streamlined experience. Or strategy mode. This is the one I've been playing, actually, which is fairly cool. Strategy mode features longer battles with a focus on macro strategy. This is the original Crimson Tactics, the Rise of the White Banner experience. And I think that this is, as I say, I've been having a lot of fun with it. And it's sort of, I think if I go that way, I think I've got to start right from the actual start. Difficulty styles, I'll just go automatic at this stage. Just go confirm. And it just loads in. It basically sort of tells you where you are. And so I think that you play from the perspective of a main character. Yeah, no, unfortunately I've got to go and I'll just press space and we'll just go through all the actual conflict itself. I was thinking I want to sort of keep the save game that I've got for doing actual YouTube content. This is basically the tutorial. And so what comes through here is that you've got like your character down through this side, and this is just going to be a one-off. I'll just very quickly, actually I'm going to skip the tutorial. It doesn't skip the fight, unfortunately. So I just have to sort of do the fight. The way it works, and it works very, very well, you end up with a team of units. In this stage, we've only got the one. In fact, I'll just very quickly get through this one. You've got different things you can do, like this one here. If we have a look and see what his character actually has. So this is Duke Bjorn Rolf, Knight Commander. It sort of tells you what their abilities are up through here. If you have a look at and see what his weaponry is, he's got a Vandal, an unusually large broadsword wielded by Duke Bjorn. So it does 700 attack damage, which is astronomical. Like that's really, really high. He's got different types of armor as well, which gives him different defenses. These are all his abilities, which I won't go through in much detail. And then you've got any sort of magic spells that they may actually then go and have. So the graphics look fairly anime sort of style, but also it looks fairly childlike. But I'll show you how brutal the game actually is. If we just go back into move, I can only, if I move to where the blue areas are, it means that he gets an action. So it's just on tiles, and at that point I can then just do an action, and we'll just do an attack, broadsword attack, and that one actually managed to block the attack. Just zoom in a little bit so you can sort of see what's going on. Facing is important, so I'll just now press the facing. He's now missed with his... now, this character, if I go and click on him, I can then have a look at his condition as well. And we can then sort of see that he's got like a special sort of polearm and a shield. So he's got like a special ability which gives him... if I hover over that, I don't think it shows us much in through here how it actually does work. But this lance actually allows them to attack in a different sort of format. When we attack with ours, now I'm going to go and move in behind him and do a rear attack. So if I attack from behind, I get better action. So if I just do an attack, now when I hover over, it'll actually show that it's highlighting all three different areas. So wherever I attack, it's going to then, if there was other two units in through there, the broadsword would do the same attack like this one here. So we'll just go and smack him. Okay, so that did 400 odd points of damage because he still has armor. And then we'll just face him again. It's very simple the way it does work. Now he's just put up Guardian Resistance. He used some of his TP, and I forget what they're like, turn points I think they're called, which he's then converted that into health. But he's actually now used up most of that. If we have a look at his condition, his TP is way, way down now to 31. So he did actually manage to use that. If you look at his special abilities, he used Guardian Resistance. The units receives half damage. I think he used that one there. Yeah, he did use that one there. So until next turn, the unit receives half damage from all incoming attacks. So in this case, I'll just go and close it. There's a lot of intricacy with this. Just go back across. We're still facing the rear of this particular unit. So we'll just go to action, attack, broadsword attack. So only half the damage went in, so 207. Now we can move away just so that he doesn't get a shot at us. So let's just move back up into, say, here. We'll end our turn, and then we just change the facing. Facing is important. He did have a crack at us. Critical damage, so it did double the damage. Now we're going to move back in behind him again. There's no zone of control, which I think it would be good if there was. But there's not. Now he no longer has the double protection. There he goes. That should kill him. Yep, so he's now been brought down. So that's sort of how conflict does work. So just go and load. And in this early stage, this is now the sort of cut scenes where there's like a king who is they're trying to defend the palace against this. This is all just the tutorial basically. What is the rule or upside? I'll just press space and we'll just skip the cutscene. But the cutscenes are fairly good. But as I say, the cutscenes are really, really brutal. So we're now going to go into the Castle Bailey, and we sort of just work our way through. So he now goes into this area. By the way, I think we're playing as the baddie in this part of the game. Now we come in with a small team of units. So this is sort of it just slowly sort of introduces you more and more to what does go on within the actual game itself. So again, this is just sort of like the voice acting is in the cutscenes to a degree, but there we go. We've got other people coming in. So getting ready, but the graphics look really, really good. Like it looks better than when the demo came out. It's a nice graphic style. So we've now got a little team of units. Anyway, they just continue on. These are trying to protect the commander. Okay, so we'll just vanquish the enemy. Yes, now just going to go, we'll just skip like you can sort of basically zip around the battlefield to find the angle that sort of works best for you. We'll just sort of zoom back in. And so you've got to do it in the order that comes through. If we go and pick one of the others, for example, if we go back to any of the characters, we can then have a look at their condition, see what their abilities actually are. So they've got different sorts of core stats, battle stats, back and through here as well. All of their equipment again as well, like we've already seen him. But if we go to, say, one of the others, we've got a few different ones like these in through here, are more magical. These are Dark Templars, and if we just look at their condition, so it shows you what type of magic that they use and also their different abilities. So if we go and have a look, this one's got an Inquisitor Blade. It does actually have an Inquisitor's Bulwark, so like a fairly good shield unit, a fairly good shield with this particular unit in through here. Crusader's Vendel back and through this other side, Shin Guards, etc. So it just goes through with all of the different bits and pieces. No accessories in this case. These are all the different abilities that they actually have. And so when you're playing the game, I don't know if we can show this, but if I go back in and just go back to the first one, the one that we've actually got, there is an AI that I can enable as well. Now I can't show it just yet. What I might do is quit out of this and just show you where the game actually ends up, because once you get past all of this, let's just go back and load in this one through here. So this is my the test one that I've been doing. I'll just load it in. I was going to just show the next battle as part of as an actual YouTube video today, which I won't do that right now. I'll do that in the next because it'll take too long to do that here. But this is actually where we've got like a character. So there's Bryce's Waterway, an aqueduct that was conducted. So in this case, we've got like our. Actually, that's not the one that I wanted. That's interesting. I don't actually have. This is actually didn't save where I was up to. I was actually past this point. I'll just cut through here. Unfortunately, I can't show you all the stuff. I'll just skip past all that. This will give you a bit of an idea as just to how big the game actually is. So Alexander is saying it's the gaming chat, right? I'm not stumbling. Yes, you are. You're not stumbling in. I just wanted to just try to show what this game actually had. So this then goes through, when you're setting up your actual, you can set up your tactical abilities like what we're seeing through here. Now in this instance, I've got a limit of 10 characters I can bring in, and I've got 10 in the group. Some of them I have to fight with, but not all of them I have to. They come in, like we've got mages, we've got priests, priests over through here as well. Different like rangers, so we've got like ranged units, but they work incredibly well, I've got to say. So let's just commence the battle. And I will just skip out of this. So for whatever reason, yeah, so we're going to go through, like most of our first units will then sort of go and do different things. So we've got like Rusty Alvin has come through. He's our first one that we would then sort of go and work. I can enable the AI. In fact, if I just go and do that one, and I'm going to use these as vanguards. So this is sort of like where, I'll just end the turn. So he will then just go off and do his own thing as like AI controlled. I'll do that with everyone. That way we can just watch what actually happens in turn. Even the main characters. Spellcaster. Now this is a priest. I want a priest to be in support. Just end our turn. And then they have different, like I think it was a vitality upgrade that they actually then ended up getting. But this is quite cool as well. Just go with a ranged attack. But to be able to sort of designate what style of, yeah, they missed with the ranged attack. But I quite like this. There we go, a bit of damage done. There's a named character, by the way. So they've got different types of combat units as well over the other side. And then that's their priests at the back. But I think this is all going to take a bit too long to sort of show what everyone actually does do. Just enable Vanguard again and turn. Eventually they'll just start to play. It's sort of funny, if there was a Battle Brothers style game with this sort of combat, I think it would be absolutely perfect. Because the combat in this is really, really good. Except for the fact that you can't actually sort of lock characters in. You can just walk straight past them. The defend just means he's going to then go into the defensive mode next turn. There's a mage. We'll just enable this one as a spellcaster. Again, they move into their different areas. Enable AI. Go back into support. You can interrupt whatever's happening at any point as well. Okay, they just got their strength up a bit. Okay, block the what would actually happen through there. Defensive mode. Now, this is the little story things where they're trying to sort of talk it through. Now, sometimes you're going to get choices, and it does actually impact what happens in the game, which is fairly impressive, but it is very, very story driven. So that's only the real sort of negative with it. Anyway, it reminds me of the same. Anyway, I'll just skip past all this. Let's just get out of here. Let's return to the title. I don't know why it didn't save where I got up to actually. If I just go back into load game. shame, actually. That was the one that... yeah, I played it a lot longer than this. Anyway, it's not doesn't have the one that was there. Well, this one comes out tomorrow anyway. But as you actually, I will load that one back in again, because it will at least show you what's coming with it as well. So ultimately, even though it's story driven to a large extent, you end up being able to manage your party completely. You have a guild where you then can pick up other mercenaries to then come and join your group. Stable to pick up mounts for your units. The mounts are quite impressive. Inventory, so you can actually then manage all of the different sort of equipment that you have. And there's a whole range of stuff that the different types of weapons fight in different sorts of patterns, which is quite interesting as well. It's got a crafting one, which I haven't unlocked yet, and then a shop as well. So the shop, the inventory is what you actually have, so you can divvy it out amongst your party. The shop is so you can then go and buy other things as well. So it works amazingly well, I've got to say. I'm really impressed with it. Much more impressed with it than what I thought I would be, to be honest. And just the tactical gameplay is actually quite engaging, even though it didn't look that good from what I just showed through there. I'll have to get through this next part of it again just to sort of unlock most of these things. The archive then just goes through, essentially the history of what's actually happening back and through here as well, where it then just goes through, all the different sorts of units, where they all are, etc., etc. It's, as I say, very, very involved. And 3 hours, and I still haven't even really unlocked, most of the stuff at this point in time. So it does look good. So I think that will appeal to a lot of you, particularly the combat style. Let's just go back out and exit the game, and I'll just have a bit of a read of see what you guys are saying. So okay, so Maladroit saying Daz picked up airships thanks to your stream, so we'll do more streams of it. Yes, I will. Absolutely. I'm playing it a lot on Twitch, and I will continue to play it a lot on Twitch because it's ideal for the Daz Demption style, where characters can name their own ships, and then I get to ban them if the ships get destroyed, and the ships get destroyed a lot. So it's the perfect game for doing those sorts of plays. You seem to make it so easy when I try to find them. I'm not sure what to do at times. Yeah, look, it's such an awesome game. I think I'm just used to. It's interesting. I like getting that sort of feedback because it makes me then rethink. Okay, what am I taking for granted when I'm explaining things? Like if I'm showing how to build a ship. There's certain things that I probably don't explain that I really should. So thanks for sort of mentioning that. It's I will actually try to rethink the way what I am taking for granted when I'm sort of designing the ships. I know that I've got a very specific goal before I start building each ship, because you can do so much in airships. And so Chinese writing is saying the UI looks like June Spice Wars. It's very clean, actually. I don't know. I think it's and it does have that JRPG style that was mentioned before. Yeah, Battle Mode mentioned that. It looks like a typical tactical JRPG to me. It goes beyond. It goes beyond the simplicity of some of those sorts of things. Brigandine is probably the closest game I can think of, just from graphic style. And also, I guess, complexity. It reminds me very much of Brigandine, and Brigandine was one of those surprisingly good games as well. Very much in that same sort of style, with really engaging tactical combat. And this one has got the tactical combat in this game is also unbelievably good. Alexander's in saying, Daz, do you got any news about Fog Kingdoms? All I know is that it's aiming for next year now, and that was from a couple of months ago that I heard that information. So I don't know much about it. I am sort of in the Discord, but I don't look at the Discord all that often to sort of see if there's been any other updates. The updates that have been in the Discord have not really been meaningful updates for quite some time. There's been screenshots of little things, but nothing mind-blowingly, different, if you know what I mean. Yep. So Mariner's saying anime art style, but as I say, like the actual content is like I'm watching it thinking it looks very cutesy, the actual style, but the actual what they do is actually really aggressive. Like it really aggressive. It's sort of one of those things where I think there's going to be a bit of a disconnect there between just how I'm trying to think of another game that actually is brutal in what it does. In the sense of the context of what actually is happening, like it's it's one of those things. I'm going to have to be careful what I actually record, to be honest, with the game, because this is Crimson Tactics. It really is quite. It's not for general audience. Like, it really isn't at all. Like, it's very adult. The actual the way that it's sort of presented with just the actions of things is really it's sort of funny, because I was looking at like torturing prisoners and stuff like that, which you don't tend to see much in games, like not where they actually show it, or they might intimate it, but in this case they're actually torturing the prisoners and then killing them and stuff like this. And it's sort of it's funny because but then again you then have choices for your character whether you go along with it or not. So, but it's very interesting the way it sort of does work. That's probably the one thing. I'm guessing that's maybe like a cultural disconnect there in one sort of sense, where the devs, where, like, I think that there will be a kickback against that somehow. Not that I worry about that, just as long as the warnings are there so that kids aren't sort of exposed to it. It's interesting. Hi, Byred, how you going? And Bradley Oates saying, what is this? That was Crimson. I'll just go and open it up on here. Crimson Tactics. So it comes out tomorrow. And as I say, really quite an impressive game. Really, I've been enjoying it a lot. I'm actually surprised at how good the game actually is. So if we have a read about it, like Crimson Tactics, The Rise of the Right Banner is a turn-based tactical RPG set in a medieval high fantasy world and unfolds an action-packed political story in the country of Wendale. Experience the fate of a kingdom through the lives of the characters tied together by desire, destiny, and demise. The kingdom of Wendale is in dire straits. It is divided by differing ideals and flooded with mistrust. A siege leads to a civil war, and the civil war threatens the stability of the entire kingdom. So I think that you can flick around depending on what you decide to do in the game. I do believe it's fairly open in that sense, but it's not an open world game, I don't think. I don't think it mentions open world. It's like, I think it would, if it had open world, I think it would actually mention it, because that would be a selling point. So one of the dukedoms, Swazalia, is ruled by Duke Arenzo Duran, a cruel and cunning man with a sinister plot to acquire higher power and a higher standing within the kingdom. He crushes all those who stand in his way, but one opponent seems elusive, a small group of rebels that are persistent in their quest to expose and defeat him. However, the Duke's powerful military. So essentially you become part of the rebellion, essentially is how it works out. You find yourself here. What will you choose? What decisions will you make? The decisions do matter. Will you value the lives of your comrades or use them as you see fit? Will you choose to help those in need, to help yourself because your ideals seem clearer? Whatever you choose to change the course of Swazalia and the entire kingdom of Wendale. Tactical combat is heavily influenced by games like Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre. Now, Tactics Ogre I've never actually played, but I know that a lot of you guys have actually mentioned that over the course of the years, just as a game that you were sort of hoping that there would be more games like that. Well, this, I guess, is like that. Brings a new twist on those classics as well, with new improvements and additions to the tactics genre. So a unique mounting system that includes mounts such as horses and dragons, challenging tactical gameplay with aggressive and adaptive enemies, a dynamic difficulty option that adjusts difficulty based on the player performance, tactical grid-based maps that facilitate a large variety of play styles. And it really does, like that's not an exaggeration. The more you play it, the more you sort of appreciate it. This is interesting as well. Party management. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Just how many different classes you can eventually unlock of the actual characters. And so the characters in your party can actually have all sorts of different abilities based on the class that you give them. So the game features a robust class system with play styles ranging from melee close-range fighters to long-range archers and mages. Classes of characters can be changed regularly and abilities retained even after a change. An extensive equipment system where you mix and match different kinds of weapons and gear for a more tailored experience. And it's simple like the way that they've done it is quite simple, but it's very impactful with the way that the actual combat does work. So there's a whole range of different things to sort of do in through here. But as I say, very, very impressed with it. I really wasn't expecting it to sort of see it. So no one's done any reviews on that one. So here's a bit of a sneak peek at what's coming. And but I think that the closest one for me is Brigandine. Brigandine is a game also. If we have a bit of a look at that one, exceptional game, Brigandine, The Legend of Renuzia. Yeah, this will be in the same sort of genre, I guess, in a lot of ways. Brigandine, you do have a lot of flexibility as to where you send your armies, even though it's like it's a set map. But this is a brilliant game as well. Like when did it come out? 2022, so it's about a year and a bit old. And this one was also one of those games that was an absolute surprise, just with the tactical combat. And as I say, the Crimson Tactics is, if you like Brigandine, I think you'll like Crimson Tactics. So I'm not sure if many of you have played Brigandine. 22 friends want the game. 13 friends only 13 friends have actually got the game. So that's not a hell of a lot in terms of what usually I find with games. Like if we, well, I guess we can sort of look at other games. But anyway, that's the so Crimson Tactics coming out tomorrow. That's one you may want to have a look like. Now where else are we up to? So we've got Viren Games are saying, Daz, have you played Against the Storm with the latest updates? Not with the latest ones, no. I do want to have a look at that one. Like they've sort of changed the graphics, and there's a new faction there that I haven't actually played yet. Alexander saying, it's a gaming chat, right? I'm not stumbling into a Let's Play, no. Hi David, how are you going? Actually, David, you may be able to answer a question for us. We were just talking before you came in, actually, about if there's any news on. I hate putting on the spot like this, but Second Front, Bully Beef and Biscuits. It's just got coming soon, but there's no information. Is there anything you can give us, or is this a no comment type question? Anyway, I'll just ask the question there. Feel free to do no comment, but that was something we were sort of just talking about before, as to if that is kind of coming on, if it's on its way. Okay, so battle mode then said looks like a typical JRPG. And Alexander saying War Tales. War Tales is a game that I haven't actually played, that I do want to actually have a look at some point. I've tried to contact the devs a couple of times, but they just don't respond back. Even when there's things where they invite response, so I'm not sure whether it's the email I've got or whatever. It just doesn't seem to sort of work. Jamison saying, Daz, will you be putting the Airships DLC into your Nexus store? I'm about to buy it. It would be good if I could sponsor you through the Nexus store. I don't think Airships, I don't think will be coming to the Nexus game store, so I don't think it's there. I don't think the, I'm not even sure if Airships was available. I'll just have a quick look. Hang on, just bear with me. Because one thing you can do is, I think, just go straight into it. And I don't have Airships on its own, do I? Because normally if there's DLC, they'll just, no, they don't have Airships in there. I can search for, no results for Airships. So to put a game into the Nexus game store, the developer has to agree to actually do it, because the developer pays the extra that I get. The cut I get it comes out from the developer, so it's only the developers that actually have to then sort of agree to put in the things in. But essentially, you can see there most of the. If there's a special, like for Xenonauts 2, for example, it will then sort of have that special, but always double check, because sometimes you can get it cheaper. But thanks for asking about that. But no, I'm pretty sure Airships was one of the games that they didn't actually, Nexus didn't actually have. I think I did ask about that. I think Jagged Alliance was another one that I couldn't actually put on either. The devs didn't agree to that one, which sort of surprised me, actually. I thought that one would have been. I'll just double check. Yeah, no results for Jagged Alliance either. I thought that that would be the case, but anyway, that's not the case. So yeah, it's Tenra is saying, do you know about the game One Military Camp? I've got the key for it, and I don't know if I'd even bothered downloading it. I didn't like the look of it, so I didn't bother with it. And Alexander is saying, Final Fantasy VII, yeah, kind of cute, but the world is kind of dark. Look, back to Crimson Tactics. That is as I say, the cutscenes. I can't think of a game that is as underhandedly, dastardly in what it represents in ways that are going to. I don't know. It addresses things that I'm surprised at. To be honest, it was quite surprising. Not in a bad way, but I was thinking, wow, this is actually really quite an adult game, even though the graphics look childlike, which is a bit of a bother, like when that does happen, because parents may sort of look at the game like Crimson Tactics, that's fine, I've got a 10-year-old, here you go, here's a game that then goes on and features all these brutal killings and slayings and more, like it does. It doesn't show a lot, but it does intimate other things as well. So yeah, it's not for kids. Okay, so Sorbical saying hi, so hi back, and Ivor is saying, are there any good strategy games like Shadow Empire or Dominions? Well, there's a lot. In fact, while we're here, if we go through, I'll just go back through my games and only put 10 on there. Now, Age of Wonders, people have become a little bit jaded with Age of Wonders, which sort of, I can understand it, but it's... yeah, I'm not sure how popular it currently still is, actually. Like with, I just noticed that with the content I'm putting up, it's not getting very many views at all with Age of Wonders. But I still think that's a really, really cool strategy game. Distant Worlds 2 is really like an open world simulation game. Xenonauts, in terms of it being like Shadow Empire and Dominions, I mean, Shadow Empire is pretty unique. Like Age of Wonders would be sort of in that sort of more that strategy 4X type game, similar to games like Shadow Empires and Dominions, turn-based as well. So I'd probably say that Age of Wonders would be up there. Distant Worlds is pausable, like it's got an active pause, which is great, but it's real time. But it's very open. Again, an incredibly good game. It's just getting better and better all the time. It's a bit different to Shadow Empire. Gladius is very much like the other games. That's worth picking up. Actually, it's back to being expensive again. So wait for that one to get cheap again, and then grab Gladius when you can. It's an exceptional game, that one. Master of Magic is awesome as well. So that's got new DLC coming out very, very soon, in another month or so, I think. Yeah, Old World as well. There's a lot of them in here, really, that there's so many games like it. But like Shadow Empire, nothing like it. It's unique, in my opinion anyway. That's a very, very unique game. And Dominions as well. I mean, I think if you like Dominions, maybe try Conquest of Elysium. I think would be another. I don't think I can put Dominions on this either, which I was. Do we have any Dominions? No, not the actual Dominions itself. I'll just close that one off. If we just have a look for because Dominions as well. I didn't want to do this every week, but they've now got Dominion 6 has now got its own area ready to sort of show up. Now, there's supposed to be a lot more changes for Dominion 6, like between 5 and 6, as it were between 4 and 5. To be honest, I can't see much in the way of the actual interface. One thing I was there's a few things I was hoping for with the change in the interface. When we have a look at everything back in through here, we might as well do this now and have a bit of a look. I don't know if you can see that very clearly. Unfortunately, it doesn't show up all that well. Copy the image link and just try to place it and just see what actually happens. Is that as big as it's going to get? I can scroll in a bit, but it's not going to help much, I don't think. So when we have a look, I did want to have a look at this at some point. I was going to wait till there was a bit more information. Now we've got a different resource, a different type of magic, which will be this one through here, and this is for dreams and illusions. And so that is one thing that is coming, and because they've split that out from air, so you've got like your air areas back in through this side. These are the different. You've got fire. Actually, how's it going? No, it goes fire, air. That's air there. Water, earth. That's astral, I think. Death, nature. This will be the new one in here, which will be glamour, I think is what they've called it. And then you've got blood slaves. So that's going to be the different types of resources available. It's interesting that they've shown one that's got a bit of everything, actually, because it's quite rare that you don't often see that. And so that is a big change to the actual game itself. When we have a look through at the actual ways of working, I'm just trying to see if there's anything up in here that I don't recognise. I don't recognise what that is, but I'm not sure what that actually is supposed to represent. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I'd need to actually open up DOM 5 to actually have a bit of a look at that one through there. But this is, and this is actually Celeria. So this is actually one of the existing factions, but they've split the air spells in half. Like so the air spells are now split between actual air spells and glamour spells, and so glamour has been split out of it, which has meant that a couple of the factions, or a fair few of the factions, have had to be re-looked at, as well as a lot of the there's other new factions coming in to make better use of glamour. So I think it's Jotunheim, for example. I think it's Jotunheim, or is it Helheim? I can't remember which one it is, but one of the Heims has used to make very, very heavy use of air spells to make use of the glamour, that they had like abilities in glamour. So I'm guessing that particular faction will then be rethought of as a glamour faction. And there's a few new ones as well that are sort of coming back in through. Yeah, so gnashing, it's just going through. I'm not seeing anything of. I'm not seeing massive differences, which is not a bad thing. It's just that I'm not seeing a lot of them. That there, that's actually that's new. I haven't seen that would be the scouting ability, I guess, of the actual region. So that's actually that's something we haven't seen before. In terms of the actual the map display, I'm not sort of seeing much difference in through there. I know that they've changed the overall. Like I think the big changes are the approach. They're going to make it much more important to have big armies than small armies, and the armies are going to be more mundane, and the magic users are going to be more powerful in one sort of sense, but you're not going to have as many of them. So it's going to be fairly interesting. So that will sort of be interesting the way it sort of does work. Yep, actually Gary's then saying, yeah, and in riders and mounts are going to be separate as well. So that's going to give you different things where you've got, for me, that means more micromanagement, to be honest, which I'm not all that happy about. I sort of, like I already didn't like the way that you had units that would die when they were sort of tracking between mountain, like in the cold or something, if they were crippled. I just wish that there was a cleaner way of actually handling that. I don't know if it will. UI polishing from Illwinter. You must be new here. Did someone actually ask about that, did they? So if we have a look, yep, so Igor is saying, for now, DOM 6 surprisingly looks the same as DOM 5. What did I get up to? I should just go back out. God, where did I get up to? God, there's been a lot more. Here we go. So Sorbical's saying Fell Seal Arbiters. Mark is another. I don't know that one at all, sorry. And then Igor is then saying, yeah, Crimson Tactics looks like Fell Seal. No idea what game that is. So Zan is saying Dom 6 hype. Yeah, like it's. I'm really looking forward to this game for when it does actually come. Can't wait to be able to play it. But I'm not seeing much. Like it doesn't look very different, other than the fact that they've made some pretty big structural changes to the game. But certainly the user interface is not going to be I don't think the user interface will be sort of that different. If we just go back out from that one through there and just go to the next one across, they're supposed to have done some changes to the actual battle maps. You can again see that the scale of the actual mundane units is high. So they've got like a lot going on through there. We don't see much in this particular screen. This is one of the new factions, and so this is where we do actually have mounted units, as was mentioned there before, are sort of now back on the like, you know, they're two separate sort of elements to them now, which is a big change, I guess, really, when you sort of do think about it. But for me, that's sort of smacks a little bit of micromanagement. Emerald Knight, this is one of them. Now, where do we have it? We've got the size, protection, encumbrance. See, it's not showing. This is actually one of these. This is a special unit that's just come in with a new faction. So the Mouflon is you're riding on a. I don't remember this from Dom 5 at all, but this is where you're riding a massive ram, and the ram doesn't show up. I thought it would show up in here somewhere. You know what's going on with your actual mount itself, but it doesn't. So and I'm not seeing any differences in there at all either. So the size 3-5, that's interesting. So 5, unless these are size 5, these are giants riding. Size 2 is a human, size 3 is a small giant. So if it's 3 unmounted, 5 mounted, that would then mean that these are very, very large, very, very large. So yeah, here we go. Sacred Knights riding great mouflons into battle. Once these great sheep graze on the slopes of the Pyrenean mountains, herded by the Tartalo giants. With the disappearance of the Tartalo men, caught and domesticated the mouflons and found them to be strong and reliable mounts. A few prominent families fielded knights mounted on armour during the battle. The mouflon knights were instrumental in the victory. Yeah, just not sort of saying what they actually are, I don't think. Anyway, that's it'll be interesting to sort of see how it does actually work. Again, not seeing any real changes in through here. Like, I don't know why this is here. I was looking at all these before, trying to think, why did they pick these? What's different? Why would they show this particular screen? That one, actually, we're going back now into here as well. So this would then sort of highlight, again, if we picked up the various, I think one of the changes here is we actually get to at least see the actual spell abilities, the magical schools that they actually have, which I don't think that was in there before. Again, we've got the 4, 3, 2, 1 back through here. Not seeing too many changes in through here, to be honest. So they all look pretty much what we've seen before. That one looks new. That one looks to be a glamour. That would be glamour back in through there as well. Yeah, so there'd be a few new things, but again, not dramatic, I don't think. And then again, this is more very similar to the one that we saw there before. I sort of wish that the screenshot selection had been better thought through, because we're not seeing the new stuff with this much at all. We are with this. This is a new faction. And we are picking up some clues back up through here, but not a hell of a lot. And so actually one of the things, I don't know if it'll show it in here. Yeah, they're still using the same font. I was sort of hoping that they would ditch this font and find something a bit cleaner. To be honest, that sort of more glyphic type, sort of old world sort of font. I don't think it helps the game at all. To be honest, that's just something that I. Because my job is as a graphic artist, when I see that stuff, like this is the type of font that they use up in these sorts of areas. It's really gets in the way of it being clean. It's really not a good font to use for game design, unfortunately. So I don't think the user interface is going to change much. There'll be more and more information as it gets closer. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it enormously. But yeah, I really don't know what's going to actually be bringing. And so Evil Mirror is saying, "Here's me wanting Crimson Skies." Yes, but I'm saying let's talk about Dom 6. Have you guys seen the beta tester into info in Lucid's Discord? Lots more than Illwinter have put up. I haven't seen that, no. So. Okay, no, I have, is he allowed to talk about that? I'm surprised that would be something you can talk about. Igor is saying, Daz, you should try Ash of Gods. I haven't tried that one. I don't know that one. David's saying, I can only say the dev is hard at work, and I can assure you it's worth the wait. So there we go. So we've very non-committal. This is about, of course, God, what was the name of the game? It was Modern Second Front. This is the DLC coming for Second Front. There we go. So very non-committal, David. Very non-committal. But I'm saying, by the way, Brigandine is really good for those who haven't tried it. It really is. It's an amazingly good game, Brigandine. Surprisingly good. It's done very, very, very well. Igor is saying, for now, Dom 6 surprisingly looks the same as 5. It does to a very large degree. That was the criticism that came when Dom 5 came out, that it was too much like 4, but the actual experience of playing Dom 5 was so much better than playing 4, even though you couldn't really see much of the differences. And so I'm assuming that if there's a bigger change between 5 and 6, then I would rely that there's going to be it's going to feel a lot better. Again, that's where it'd be good to see screens that showed that. Would be great. Evil Mirror is saying Jagged Alliance 3 is so good. Yes, it is an amazingly good game. Alexander is then saying that Dom 5 looks like Dominions 4, so no big surprise there. It did look like it, but God, it brought some good stuff. There was a lot more. This is why I'm sort of surprised. I don't know what more they could really add to make the game present better in the sense of the information, because Dominions 5 really did bring a lot of really, really good information when you were playing. Like the log files gave you every single die roll, so you could see exactly what was going on. So that'll all be in there. And that wasn't in 4, for example. 4 didn't have the same sort of depth of log files that they had in 5. And even that was just little things like that made such a big difference. Admiral's then saying, did you check the new Distant Worlds 2 beta patch? It adds a brand new pirate cruiser. Actually, no, when did that one come out? I haven't seen that one, actually. Let's have a quick look. Where are we up to? Distant Worlds 2. And that was old, so all the announcements are fairly old. But I haven't seen the pirate cruisers. Let's go to discussions. 4 minutes ago. No, that was just someone's responded. 3rd of June. No, this is fairly old. When was this one? When's the first one in through here? Yeah, no, this is. I have been playing this, but I didn't notice that there was actually a implemented. Okay, new pirate cruisers. Okay, so that's actually interesting. So when very strong, then some pirate factions may start with a cruiser. Oh, okay, all right. So they're making the pirates a bit more aggressive, a bit more love and attention. That'll be interesting. No, I haven't noticed it, but I have been playing with that version of it. So there we go. That's got that one. Where are we up to? Igor saying I was expecting a little bit more UI polishing. Yeah, I think a lot of people were expecting that, actually. It's functional. This is Dominions again that we're talking about. So I might just go back there. I'll just leave it there because I'm guessing that there'll be a bit of discussion about how that one does actually sort of then go and work. I'm guessing we'll be back here a few times, so just leave it here and then start up a new screen if we need to. I'm not seeing very much difference there in the user interface at all, and I think it would be cool if there was, or if it was exposed so that the community could actually put together a better user interface for it, like through modding. That would be good as well. So where are we up to? So Rot's saying I'm a bit late to the show. Did we have a look at the store page for Dominion 6, or is that not on the docket? Yeah, well, here we are. I was gonna until I sort of saw some really big stuff. I wasn't gonna. I'm not gonna come every week to Dom 6, but we will as soon as there's big announcements. I'll still keep on looking every week, but I won't highlight it too much. But yeah, I mean there is the page here now, so yeah, I think you can wish list it. Yeah, there's a fair few people sort of already wish listing it back in through there as well. Okay, so yeah, Gary's saying UI polishing from Illwinter. You must be new here. Yep. So Xana's saying we get new info on it faster than YouTubers can make videos. Alexander's saying Age of Wonders 4 is cool. It's just not as good as Planetfall. It's yeah. Look, I think I like Age of Wonders 4 personally, but it's interesting. I'm sort of. I would love to know what the disconnect is there. You know, like it was something that I would really be interested in that one. I'm surprised at just how quickly it dropped off. But if we have a look at the, if I open up one of my, just to have a look at and see how it went, it actually is still tracking very well. If we just look at Age of Wonders. Age of Wonders 4. And we look at the charts. The actual, if we have a look at the player count history, it has dwindled off, but it's still actually fairly healthy at 2,000 players currently. Like it's actually not bad at all. Like when you actually look at that, I mean, it had a massive launch, like a massive launch. That was unbelievably big. For when it actually did hit at its actual launch. But it's still, and that must have been when the DLC came in, I guess, but it's healthy. The numbers are still very healthy. It's interesting though, Twitch, you know, like 12 viewers right now. So it's not really popular on Twitch anymore either, which is interesting. I mean, I will be playing it on Twitch. Twitch is probably the one place I can go and play games like this and not worry too much about the algorithm. But the concurrent players, so you know, about 2,000 playing right now. But it's it's not unhealthy with what we're sort of seeing through there. In fact, I've got another. I was going to compare Jagged Alliance with Xenonauts 2 as well. Haven't looked at it, but I did actually bring up the charts for that as well, so we can actually have a look at that at some point as well. We could even look up, I don't know if Dom 4 came to Steam or if it's just Dom 5. Dominions. Yeah, actually, there we go. It's got 4 and 5. Are people playing with this announcement? Are they playing this game? See, that's healthy. That's a healthy line in through there. When we have a look at back from 2018, it started off with, like, this is a niche game. So 1,000 players, that's half the players that are currently playing Age of Wonders 4 at the moment. So it launched with that back in November of 2017. And it's then sort of been very consistent all the way through. Again, just healthy numbers all the way through, which is interesting. So we're not going to sort of see much when we do actually have a look at the, so I'll just bring it back out so we can sort of see what's there. Just go to all. But the if we do actually do a comparison to compare with others, that was Dom 5. We look at Dom 4, for example, because Dominions. No, it's only got Dom 5 there anyway. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't show that. Actually, I thought that if we just go back out again and have another quick look. Yeah, no, it doesn't bring it up. It's in the list, so it's only like that's pretty much Dom 5 is all we really have access to. I thought that was the case actually, but that was again, it's that's a game that just keeps on chugging along, you know, like with what it actually does have, and so Dom 6 I think will be the same sort of deal. I am surprised, I've got to say, that we're not seeing an influx of players over the last week. I guess we are slightly. What did we get up to? So we went from peaks on the 12th of July of 197. We're getting up to 240. Yes, we've got a few extras. 230, 239. In fact, it was really pretty much in through here, wasn't it, this week? We sort of have a look, if we have a look at the actual week itself, or yeah, that's the playing trends. But really, over the last week, we're not sort of seeing much rise. In fact, we saw there was a bigger rise there, 321 back in January. Then it sort of has dwindled off. But I think with DOM 6, we'll see another spike at some point coming back through. But anyway, that's interesting. I find that interesting to sort of see how games do track over time. Like it's a good way to sort of get a feel for I guess a series, or whether a series is going to be worth sort of looking at. And looking at Age of Wonders, it actually looks healthy when you compare that. It's got 10 times the viewership of Dominions, and Dominions is a classic game. It's not insubstantial with what we're sort of seeing through there. But this is where I find it surprising that the disconnect with the YouTube videos. It's one of the least popular YouTube video series that I've been putting up, which is sort of I'm thinking, what's happening with Age of Wonders? Okay, so where are we up to? Okay, so Alexander is saying, after playing both, Age of Wonders 4 is a bit of a step back, honestly. There we go. Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting to sort of try to get to the bottom as to why. And look, the other thing is, it may be that there's a whole new market that's come into the Age of Wonders series with Age of Wonders 4 with their release that aren't people who have played the old games, and that may also be it. If we have a look at Planetfall as an example, that's probably going to be the best way of actually having a look at this one through this site. Planetfall, Age of Wonders Planetfall. So it's 229 in game, so about the same as what we're getting with Dominions at this stage. So was this one? If we just go back to their charts and have a look at their release. So they released with only a quarter of the players from Age of Wonders 4, and then it did drop off to the core group. So that may be the answer. Is that Planetfall had your typical sort of niche strategy game audience, which is, I guess, what you guys are, and me as well. Like that's where we fit. Whereas it looks like that perhaps Age of Wonders 4 actually has brought in a different market, and actually has actually been able to bring in like people more on the periphery of those sort of like of the core strategy gaming audience that we all are. So I think we're a different market. I think we're a much more hardcore market. We're the hardcore strategy players. And so I wonder if I wonder if that's the reason, because we're looking at sort of the numbers. I mean, they're still reasonable, even back in through here around 400, 500. It's actually not bad, those sort of numbers of people playing. All right. Anyway, let's continue on. Actually, Admiral's then saying Conquest of Elysium 5 is really good. Yeah, it's something I don't play enough of it, actually, and that's something that I know, like Battle Mode, or Ben from Explorminate, who's in chat as well. He plays us an awful lot. I think I'm putting words in Ben's mouth here, but I think he considers that one of the best games at the moment. Let's have a look at that one as well, just while we're in here. Conquest of Elysium 5. 61 in game, yeah, so nowhere near as popular as the as Dominions, which is sort of what you'd expect. I mean, this is not really. So when did it start? So we've got like 1,000 people played it at the start, which is that was about the same as Dom, wasn't it? Really, Dom 5, and then it sort of dwindled off pretty quickly after that, and it's just a sort of core group, and then sort of playing the game. One of them being Battle Mode, and also, of course, if we got there was, I'm guessing, a fair few of you these sort of the players that we sort of see through here. But this is under 100 people playing that consistently. We don't really get over 100 there for quite some period of time. But again, a really, really cool game. A very, very cool game. I do have to play that more often, actually. It is a good game. Okay, so we've got sorry, I'm missing where I've got up to in the chat. Yeah, Gary's also agreeing with Alexander about it being a step back from Planetfall. See, I still love Age of Wonders 4. Like, I can happily play that anytime. Yeah, Admiral's then saying Conquest Elysium 5 is really good. Yeah, Old World is superb. There we go. So you keep on missing... where did I get up to? God, sorry guys. It just keeps on... I'm so far behind the chat at the moment. So Gary Oakes is saying we'll get a new cave layer in Conquest Elysium. You can see icons for planes in the interface. Oh, okay, that'd be cool. And yeah, Vanheim. There we go. So it wasn't Jotunheim. Jotunheim was just the giants, wasn't it? Vanheim is a good bit of air glamour for their van units. That's the one I was trying to think of. So yeah, Vanheim will definitely be changed. Like, that will definitely be a change one. And Igor is then saying at least air will be nerfed. Hi Oliver, how you going? So Jemison saying still haven't found a proper way to counter glamour though. Hoping they will add some good counters to glamour in Dom 6. And Igor is saying area of effect spells, yeah, or direct target spells, or arrow spam to pop it. Yeah, all you got to do is pop through it. Really, it's a bit like the illusion in Master of Magic. Same sort of deal. Just need to use lots and lots of archers to get past it. So Jemison's saying, yeah, I mean on the map itself, in some multiplayer games, I'm having a hard time scouting them. I'm all gangster until one of the enemies shows up with a death stack at my capital. Now, I'm going to skip past a lot of what we have. So Zan is saying sizes are 1 to 10 now. Are they? Oh, that's new then. I didn't realise that. Thanks, Sam. That's actually interesting information. The highlighted Emerald Knight name makes it look like you can select the Muflon text to show this. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Where are we? Let's go back to the Muflons, which was this one in here. So I can't make this any bigger, I don't think. No, it won't. It won't. It will a little bit. No, it sort of skips around. I'll just leave it there. Yeah, okay, I'll leave it there. All right, so, oh, you're right. Over here, you've got the knight itself and then the Muflon back in through this side. So, again, I wish that font was different. You're right. So size now goes up to 10. Wow, that's a big change. That is actually a big change. So that's interesting. And Zan saying the highlighted Emerald Knight name makes it look like you can select the Muflon text to show their stat tab, write them out as separate. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's. I'm glad you pointed that out. That is actually a new thing. Thanks for that, Zan. Very much appreciated there. Vegetation in battlefields is new. It is, but does it have a bearing? Does it actually have any sort of impact? Like, do these actually stop people from walking through these areas? And when we look at the bigger battles, we're not seeing much in here. I'm just surprised at what they're showing here because it's not that different to what we've seen before. It looks for me, it looks very much like Dom 5. As Anne's saying, a lot of mechanical stuff as well. Lucid and a Humpcraft team made a good video on it. I don't know if maybe more stuff gets leaked. Okay, that's interesting. I'll have to look for that video. Okay, so the sea of Dom 6 main map looks more detailed and deeper as they're blue. I guess it's a small change. So look and see if we can find that one. Yeah, that's just sort of trying to think of the map areas. They used to extend further out into the water, didn't they? I don't know if that's a change. There was shallow and deep previously, so I'm not sure if that sort of... that does look like it's shallow, then deep into there. And so that would be deep. Back at that other side. So Battlemode saying the screenshots for Dom 6 all show new features. You need to know the game well, perhaps, but the ocean floors show the battlefield objects they've added. So that's just so it's just the. But what's different there? Just the colours. Interrupting. Yeah, I'm not seeing what's new there. New faction. Okay, that is the split, which we haven't seen before. So these then must stop. These must take up a certain size allowance as well, I'm guessing, for what actually does come through. But again, it's not what you'd consider a major change. And how's it going to impact your scripting? It's not going to really do a hell of a lot, I wouldn't have thought. New characters in through there. And again, I don't know why they would show this and not... I don't know why this is different than the other one that we saw. So, all right. So, Igor is saying, I just want to middle-aged Ulm to get some kind of buff or fix to be actually playable in mid to late game. Yeah, no, it does fairly quickly get superseded, but I think that will change because of the scale. This is what this is showing actually. Sorry, the scale of the actual mundane units in comparison to the magic users. That's actually what they're showing here. Is you end up now with much larger armies, and so the armies now fight in a much more with much more numbers than what they have before. So they did want the actual battles to be much more meaningful in terms of the unit count. So that's what they're showing in here. Actually, it's the scale, not the nothing else really, and some trees. The scale and some trees. Okay, so you got saying just wanted to get some middle age. Yeah, we've done that one. And Battlemode saying like in Conquest Elysium 4. And saying middle age unplayable. They're horribly strong. They are incredibly strong at the start. And then you've got to go, I think with Ulm, it's a very one-dimensional play. Like you've got to go with your Master Smiths as soon as you can and get the one where they throw the fire. And once you've got those, you're pretty much set. So Admiral is then saying Dominion's devs plus Endless Space UI design team. Now that's like again the Endless Space and the Endless Games. The user interface is beautiful, and it does mask just how basic the game actually is. Just the overall look of the Endless Games. They do look incredibly good. Like the graphic design on those is just brilliant. But as I say, it belies just how basic the actual gameplay of the Endless Games actually are. You were saying they're too easy to kill with Soul Slay spam or spells like that. Yeah, I think if you can, there's certainly counters to Middle Age Ulm, but it's a great way to learn the game in Middle Age Ulm. Particularly if you're playing on an easy mode against the AI, it works out pretty well. Admiral saying actually I loved Age of Wonders 4 for like 2 weeks, then it suddenly got old for me. I think I had with a lot of people. Subical saying, have they got a lot of big streamers playing it? Potato McWhiskey among others. I think yes, that's very true. And look, Potato McWhiskey loves the game, absolutely loves it. Still, I think he still really likes it. From what I've sort of seen of his content. He actually played it more than what he wanted to because of the algorithm. So I think that he actually has decided just to play Age of Wonders 4 because he just enjoys it, and which is interesting as well. So Mariner's saying probably still a lot more than Shadow Empire. I'm not sure what that was about. So people are saying when they stopped it dropped right off. Sorry, Daz. When they stopped it dropped right off. I'm not sure what that was, so Sorbical. When they stopped playing it dropped right off. Okay, yep, so with the game. So Rot is saying I had a look at some Steam charts for older games that I keep coming back to, and I'm shocked to see how Battle Brothers player base seems to be on a steady incline rather than decline. Wow, that's actually interesting. Let's have a look at that. There's a Battle Brothers 2 in the works, isn't there? If we look at the charts. That's interesting. It is too. Wow, that's actually really quite interesting. So it launched in 2017. that must have been the launch there, 3,000 players. It just steadily got better and better as they released the DLC. Wow, that's actually very impressive, isn't it? I wonder if we go back to this game as well and have a look and see what's changed, because I just find it so brutal. The actual game is 1,500 players playing right now. That's a really interesting chart. You don't see that with games. That is really, really interesting. Wow. Okay, I'm glad you pointed that out. Actually, that's fascinating. Actually, to sort of see that, a reverse trend. Almost as many people have been playing it as what they did at launch. That's unheard of. That is unheard of. Okay, so Jemison saying, Soul Slayer is not a battlefield wipe, right, but individual. I'm not sure, but I'll just let those go. I'm still a bit behind, I think. I was just going to have to skip past. Hi, Tarank, how you going? I'm just going to skip past a few of the different bits and pieces, just to sort of catch up with the chat, because there's another game we need to talk about. So the spell is called Bark Skin instead of Wooden Warriors, says Simon. Okay, so you guys are talking about specifics with Dominions. Behind the chat, but yes, Daz, I play Conquest of Elysium all the time, says Ben. Yes, he loves it. Yeah, it's I know that whenever Ben and I do chat a fair amount, and Ben is often mentions Conquest of Elysium 5 and just how good it actually is. So there we go, a bit of recommendation there from Battle Mode. Sure, the battle scale is changing. The number of units was mentioned, certainly in the content that they have released about it. So Battle Mode saying it's a game I play no matter what mood I'm in. That's a really good statement, because it's like, you do need games like that, don't you? That you can play, you can pick up and just play. And it's interesting to sort of that's a really interesting perspective on the games that people do play and why they play them. And it's one of those things. For me, it's actually it's the that space one. God, where is it? In here somewhere. Sort of gets in the way. Heat Signature. That's the only game I can play no matter what mood I'm actually in. It's just weird. Anyway, let's continue on. Okay, Battle Mode saying, the battlefield objects will break up formations. It's a big change of how combat will resolve. I guess that will then, you'll have to then pick between plains and forests, for example. So that could actually work. I mean, if you were fighting in a forest, then certain formations may no longer work as effectively. Things like that, I guess. Ricardo saying, I like the game, but I'm terrible at it. This is Dominions, I'm going to take it, or Battle Brothers, one of the two. So Rot is saying Battle Brothers is brutal, but when you finally get over the learning curve, it's extremely satisfying. The only thing I don't like about Battle Brothers is that when you lose one battle, that's it. You're basically screwed. And and Oliver's saying Battle Brothers 2 is in the work for years now. I talked to the brothers in 2018 or 19 on Gamescom. Oh, okay, yeah. I did hear it was that they were working on it, but God, that's a surprising chart. Absolutely surprising chart to see the popularity increasing over time. Dom UK is saying other games have the gradual incline rather than decline. City Skylines is another one. Obviously not your type of game. I don't tend to play cities, those sort of games much. And Oliver's saying Civ 6 also has more players now in comp or near release. Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, we're caught up. So let's go and talk about the other game I did want to talk about, which is coming out. And this has actually come from a chat on my Discord, actually. We were talking about, there was discussion about different games, and it went back to Laser Squad, if you remember that old game. So it went from Xenonauts to UFO, XCOM UFO, and all those sorts of games to Laser Squad, and then to sort of modern Laser Squad type games. And there's one coming out, if you did like Laser Squad, called USC Counterforce. And this is another one that is, the USC was a game that came out maybe 5 years ago. It's Ultimate Space Commando is the actual what the USC stands for. I really enjoyed the original game, but it was one of those sorts of things where it was it sort of got in its own way. And the thing I really liked about it was that the maps were procedurally generated every time you played it. So this one here, you can see lead your space commandos in an epic revival of turn-based squad tactics inspired the likes of UFO XCOM, Space Hulk and Aliens, featuring in-depth skills and combat systems and multiple game modes. Discover the truth behind the demise of Colony MC-83A and join the USC in defending something or other. Anyway, it's going to be early access. Releases in 21 hours. So 21 hours time, this one releases as well. Same as what we sort of saw there for Crimson Tactics. So they released it basically on the same day. And I don't know if it's going to tell you much about what this one actually does do. All hands on deck. So USC Counterforce, a retro-inspired turn-based squad tactics game set in a tense sci-fi atmosphere. This is certainly much, much better than the original USC, if you ever did play that one. This has got a lot more going for it than what was actually there before. You control a strike team of commandos set out to planetary body M8322. I'll show you a bit of the gameplay, actually, because it is... If you like these sort of games, I think you're going to like it. But what you find, they may very well change the course of history. Now, it's an alien game. Basically, you are fighting dumb aliens, and so just be aware of that. Which is sort of I hope that at some point they actually can build an AI that actually is more tactical, and that allows you to then play against other human type characters, so you've got some thought process as to how the aliens will attack. In this game, all they do, it's like the Tyranids in Warhammer, where they basically just they just through force of numbers, they just swarm at you, the different types of aliens. So prepare your team to face every situation, and that is important. Adaptable battlefield, so fight and explore in interactable and fully destructible environments. Rearrange the battlefield, build barricades. This is actually fairly cool the way it does work. Lay traps, trigger chain reactions, steal airlocks, or break through walls, but be warned your enemies have the same capabilities. Infinite replayability, so flash with game modes. You can push your skills. Now, in the original game, the only game mode was literally like you had to get through a base. It was like extermination in a base. That's all you really could play. You've now got all sorts of different ways of actually playing the game, plus it's all random as well, with random and fully customizable single missions or challenging multi-mission operations with unique goals. Discover a multi-layered difficulty system that guarantees challenging and engaging gameplay tailored to your taste. Don't want to defy the horde on your own? Venture into co-op multiplayer and face the threat in classic hot seat, or use Steam's remote play together feature to bring a fellow soldier online. And so I'll show you the game, actually, because it's a game that I think, again, probably won't be that popular. But I think if you like the sort of games that I like, this will be a game that you probably will be wanting to pick up. This will be one that will potentially be one of those ones that you will play in a coffee break, play part of it. You can't play, it does take a while to play through a mission. I'll just go and start her up. So I've just got this one in here. So I'll be recording content for this today as well. Now, the original game was buggy, and this one is not. So I'll just press any button to continue. But the original game was very hard with its stability, but I haven't had any problems at all with this one. It also was very difficult to understand how to play the game. In recent months, I noticed that they've done a lot of work on giving information about how to play the game as well. And so this is what we're playing on. We're playing on this mining colony back and through here. You've got things, for example, like they did actually have a defend the base, which will be coming, where we just got to survive for wave upon wave of different units coming through. And I hope it's not too... just go to audio. Just reduce that down a little bit. Just bring that one down as well. Apply. All right, so this is... in the original game, you did actually have like an extermination sort of squad that you had to go through and exterminate the aliens, or you had to defend the base where you had to then go and do it. So they don't actually have defend the base, and they don't have the campaign yet, but you don't really need it. The operations are random. Like if I click on these are a number of missions, like 2 missions, 3 missions back and through here, where you've then got the like this then strings together a couple of random scenarios where you've then got different ways of sort of then going and playing. So you've got the squads or players. You've got 1 squad, 2 squads, or 1+1 squads if you want to play multiplayer, like cooperative multiplayer. You've got different things like going from sort of like the way that you can save the game, so you can sort of bring back a save if you screw up. The game is fairly difficult when it does sort of play, but these are all sorts of different ways of then sort of playing the game itself. The rewards are given to your team, and the way that you, and I don't know if I like this all that much, but if you go to like single mission in through this side, for example, these are different ways of playing the game. So you've got like classic base, which is the original game, which is just an extermination, or actually it's not just extermination, this is the map type that you're going to be playing on. So classic base, a main habitat where you've got like thin walls, which means the aliens can break through the walls, or you can blow them up, sort of trying to make your way through a different place. A deep mining facility, so you're underground, actually excavation area with big open spaces. There's tunnels, so a tight, more maze like tunnel system. Back and through there, research outpost, a huge map with 2 separate buildings, or a forward base, a single building surrounded by desert. So you've got the planet's surface in through there. So to play, like the map style will then sort of dictate how the thing sort of is then sort of is rigged for view. If we just go to, say, mine tunnels in through there, then you've got the different types of missions to do in this one. Seek and destroy was what the original game actually was. It's baseline sector sweeping bug hunting mission objective, so find and kill all the alien life forms without mercy. You've got mainframe data acquisition. This one you've got to find the mainframe, extract the data disks, and then try to escape. So that one you've only got 17 turns to do it. Reach the extraction point. You've got to fight your way through through in this case would be the mines, to then sort of go and sort of do it. You've only got 14 turns to do this one through here. I think it changes. Yes, 12 turns on a base, 14 for a main habitat, 13 for that one, 14 for that one through there, and then repel the horde. This was the original one. This is like a defense one. You've been ambushed and need to hold the ground until the last turn ends. So it's a 10-turn sort of survival type operation that you've then got to sort of use. I'll start up a game just so you can sort of see what it looks like. Let's just do a reach the extraction point. We'll do a mine tunnels game. I'll play it on easy. The game is fairly brutal. Easy's about my sort of level. Just go across, and when you finish, you do get sort of like different types of rewards that your team can then go and use. So if we just go to begin, in through here, you've then got your different loadouts. Now, I've just been using one of the ones that they had set up. I'll just go and load a different one. So this is sample squad Kappa, for example. So if I go and load that particular squad in, this is one that they've built. They've got different loadouts in this case. They've got like a wall demolisher one, and we've got different sorts of weaponry. Like Hal in this case has got like an assault rifle. If we go to Cryo Combo, he's got a sniper rifle, and we actually then have a cryo blaster in through there. Let's go with wall demolisher. This one's then got the minigun, bulleteer, and a katana. It's sort of like what the actual team would then actually have. So you can save different loadouts for your team. This one has still got 240 points we could spend if we wanted to, but let's not worry about them. Let's just begin the mission. And again, you can set up your own teams, no problem at all. So it generates the mission. And I won't play for very long, but you'll get the feel for whether it's the sort of game that you might like the look of or not. Okay, we need to locate a target area, which should be over in here somewhere. And essentially all it is you just go through. So this, and we've got like you can see from the perspective of the actual unit. One thing that you don't actually have is it is 3D environment, but you can't bring it down into a smallish sort of. You can't actually get the angle any different, which I wish you could. But we see the 3D environment through the, like if I go and click on a different soldier, we're seeing different sorts of impact from what they get to see as well. So Craig is the one with the katana, so he's our main melee guy. We'll just open up the door, and we're now into here where we're starting to see a few different aliens. Now, we don't know exactly what's around us. Let's just go and get Spencer with the minigun. You can turn for free, like you don't have to sort of stop with anything there. Now we haven't seen everything down that way through that side, and we're seeing a bit more over this other way. So we've got a few different things in through this side. Now, some of these, this is a pressurized barrel. We've got, one thing I don't know how to do yet is to actually go and hit objects rather than just the aliens themselves. So this one's an Alpha Scorpion, Scorpion with a huge fiery explosion on death. So if we can blow that one up, if I just go and pick the actual, the minigun, I can't quite get a vision through there just yet. Also, there's different patterns. Like this is a sweep pattern, focused fire is a star pattern, where I can actually shoot back in through that other side. These are half. If I just move that one across, I'll just go back to scatter again. Now he's down to, still got a fair few action points. There we go. Blew that one up and blew that one apart as well. So in what actually happened, this one's now also down to very, very minimal. So if I go to focused fire, I can then sort of move that one across. It's going to leave me 14. Focused fire is going to take 9 action points. We missed. So we need to bring one of the others out. So we'll bring out the guy with the minigun. And again, he uses a star pattern, which means we have to sort of get into these sorts of areas. Now, if we go up to here, and I'll have a look through here to see if we can you can sort of pick a little bit whether it's going to be low. I think that's the barrel that we're seeing through there. I'm just trying to see what's over this other side. I think I'll be able to fire from here. Not seeing any other aliens this way. Yep, we can pick that one. So we're actually going to fire over the top. If I just spin that one around, we can then, yeah, we're still going to fire across at that particular alien. That one's down as well. And so they can leave, like this here is a radioactive pool from where that one actually blew up. Now Jenkins has still got 25. Let's just go and move him around and put him into a defensive mode. So he's going to do Overwatch down into that region. Then we've got, this is, now what have you got? You got the assault rifle. So there's nothing in there. That's a locked door. So this is like a mine system that we've actually got through this other side. Let's just go in and just move to there. We don't know what else is coming this other side. So let's just go and set that one up in a defensive mode as well. And so he's now covering all of that area with his sniper rifle. And we've still got Craig as well. Now Craig has got... he's got better armor than what that top one there is. He's got very, very good armor. So let's just go and sort of block this off. We need to have 10 left over to go. Actually, no, only 8 for him to go into defense mode. So we'll just go into there, which will then block anything else coming through here. So I'm using this piece of this location as a block, and we're just going to put him into a defensive mode. So he's now in defense mode, which means that anything that comes through won't be able to do much damage to him. That one does actually have... Actually, I shouldn't have bothered with that one. I mean, he can still fire. Yeah, let's just leave that one where that is. All right, so we end our turn there. And we only got 14 turns. Do you really want to end your turn? Yes, we do. Something's trying to break through. So they're just now defending on the way through. But it's a really cool little game, you know. Like, and so we have to sort of make our way through the mine. We don't know what the loadout actually is, but these are aliens smashing their way through through what's going on. Now that there is a fenced artifact. It was changing something. So everything is sort of like, you can do different things. For example, like this one in through this one. If we go into, I can procure some hydrazine, which I'll just go and grab it. We just picked up 5 of those. The barrels themselves can then be also moved across. Like if we wanted to reposition and create like a block to stop anything from actually coming through, we can start to push barrels around. So if I like grab this one through here, you can see there I can either push an object, I can start to push it into other locations if we needed to. I won't do it here, but it's a really interesting game, and it's so much better than the original game. Now, we knew that we can hear that there's an alien back over this other side. There's nothing much in through that other way in through there. So, yeah, I don't think we can sort of do anything with those. Yep, so there's nothing, it's just a light. Just bring these ones back out again. But the aliens are trying to break through the actual rock walls. Anyway, that's USC. It's as I say, quite an... Actually, here we go. This is interesting in through here. Now, I can't walk on there. If I walk to there... These are actual hatches where the aliens can sort of come up through them. So we need to seal those. So we seal that, stops the aliens from coming up that particular way. Now we've still got a fair bit of spot there, not very much. If we reload, we end up with, what's he got at the moment? He has got 15, so I can actually do the reload, get his gun up, and then just put him into defensive mode. He'll then protect anything that comes through this other side. We've still got another door through there as well, which we don't know what's going on that way. I'm just going to put this one back into defensive mode through there again as well. The one with the katana, we've actually now don't have any more action points left with, and Jenkins can start to sort of move up this way as well.
Copy that.
And again, we've just got more hydrazine. So he's now got 10 of 50 in through there. And so it's important to pick up stuff on your way through. We'll just end the turn in here again as well. So trying to break their way through the walls. So the aliens are quite dumb, which is why I'm guessing that they don't actually have... there must be something else breaking in through there. We can just hear the aliens. Oh, that just blew up. All right, so I didn't realise that was actually damaged. That was damaged from the fire that was there before. All right, so and then we just continue on basically at this point. Nothing there. Okay, so we have to find a new way through the actual map itself. So it looks like this doorway is going to be the one, and we'll just go and set up a defensive position there. Okay, nothing else in this room. Oops, we've got an alien there. Don't know if we can get our katana guy. Can't quite get in, but I can get to there. Again, you can sort of see from the perspective of what he sees as he starts to walk through. But I think, you know, we've got a lot of these games that are coming out at the moment. Now we're just avoiding that. We'll just have a bit of a look through. There may still be aliens down there, but let's not worry about them.
Roger that.
And if I've got the action points, I can also make them crouch. There's all sorts of different things we can do with these. I don't think I can do anything with him. He's just going to be stuck there. We'll just end our turn there. That's indicating that they've got hardly any armor. So it's front armor and rear armor. So he's now taking damage. Now with this one through this side, this one is a alpha worm with huge acid explosion on death. So if we kill that one when we're close to it, that's going to be a problem. This one is. This one spawns other aliens back in through this other side. If we just go and pick up Craig as an example, we should see the alien. There it is. You hardly see it. Again, I wish that you could do more with these. This is where the game is not great. Like it is a bit of a problem. Let's just go. And if we use the we've got thrust, we've got slash, thrust, and they have different sorts of abilities in through here as well, or a combo, which is going to take 10. So let's just go and do a combo hit with the katana. There's one of its babies that it created. You can see its armor is really, really strong. Right, that one's dead, and we've got a little one there now. But we're now in trouble with this because he's now run out of action points. So I've screwed that one up already. Let's move these others back.
In position.
just before you go, let's go and heal him up. There you go, and then we'll blow you up as well. All right, so with the bullets here, this thing's got hardly any. Again, we've got triple fire, we've got melee as well through this side. But if we just go and do this one here,
Attack. Target hit. Engaging enemy. Attack. Fire.
okay, there's practically nothing else there. We'll just go and get the assault gun and just do a full burst.
Engaging enemy.
Bang. So that blew up, and then that would have hurt Craig as well. So that blew up. Yeah, anyway, that's sort of how the game is sort of played. But you've got all sorts of different things you can do with it. As I say, sort of moving the... Like, we've now got hazards that have now been formed in here with fire hazards, so on and so forth. So it's a pretty damn good little game. Like in the original one, I used to really love playing it. This one's got a lot more polish than the original one has got, just with the way it sort of does work. And then once you actually finish a mission, you then actually end up with getting whatever loot you end up finding. You find different things, you bring them back, and then your squad then sort of has that as part of what it can then go and do with the next phase, or whatever its operation is going to be. So the teams are persistent, and they actually then have different stats. If we just go back out. If we go back out to the main, the encyclopedia is worth looking at as well. This has got like a lot of good information in it. So, and the original game didn't have much information, but this one does actually go through in a lot of detail as to how to do different things. Like it actually does explain things very, very well. And I think when the demo came out a few months ago, this wasn't really all that well fleshed out. I noticed there was a lot of people that complained about just how much it didn't actually have how much information is, but this is very, very good the way it sort of does then go and work. Being able to sort of jump across different things, etc., crouching, and what that then means. Like if you crouch from the front, you can then go and hit the unit. So this unit they'll make this guy crouch, sitting down to crouch. He'll then crouch down, and that then allows this one to fire across the top of him to then do the damage. But it's quite a nice little game. So I thought I'd actually. Thought I'd mention it because it certainly does have that laser squad feel, but in a modern style, and certainly is much, much better than the original USC. The original USC is... I shall just go and exit that one out. Yeah, the original USC was... was problematic, but still fun to play. Whereas this one is so much better than what the original one. In fact, if we have a look and see if they've got USC in the. It's got the text. As I say, there's a lot more that can be done with it to make it a heap better. Like with these maps, with the camera angles, it would be great to get more of a three-quarter view rather than just top down the whole time, because there's certain things that you just don't see. Like there's certain like large cabinets which you don't even notice that they're there. You can't fire through them, so they stop your field of fire. So you do need to have the camera. The cameras are probably the worst thing about this particular game from what I've seen at this stage. And again, I've been playing that one for about three and a half hours as well, just to get a feel for it. And I like what I'm seeing. I like it a lot. It's just it could be better. That's the only thing. But it is very, very cool. If we've looked back for the original USC, oops, I don't even know if I think they even stopped selling it because of the problems that it actually had. It might be called Ultimate Space Commando. Oh, there it is. It's still there. Ultimate Space Commando. This is buggy. Buggy is all hell. You can see hardly anyone played it, but it actually did rate fairly well. And again, if we have a look at what was in there, it's the same sort of system. It's not as polished as this new version, and this was purely top-down when you actually did play it. It was fairly confusing the way it sort of did play, and this is actually this is what it looked like all the way through. So the new version actually does look heaps better than this. This is very similar to what they actually had. I don't know if it'll show what you end up getting with the other bits and pieces there. So single mission. Yeah, generate new map. Actually, they did have a few things. Like they did have seek and destroy, acquire data. Yeah, so it was good, and they did actually have mine tunnels, planet surface, but yeah, not a hell of a lot. Again, that's the old game, but it was yeah, defend the base. This is what's going to be coming. So this was actually a really good system where you basically would have to build up your base a bit like Xenonauts or the original XCOM. You sort of build up your base and then have to defend it against wave upon wave of units coming at you. And it worked very well. And they'd be trying to break through the walls. It was good fun. This was a really good little game, but it was just buggy. That's all. I don't know if I go back and have a look at the community hub and look at the discussions. Yeah, actually, this is all fairly recent, actually. Anyway, it was, as I say, I had a lot of fun with this game, but it was just, I found it too difficult to play in the end. Anyway, that was the original Ultimate Space Commando, but the new one is certainly on its way. So that's coming out tomorrow. I hate the logo. That's another thing. I just like the thickness and all, like it's just not very polished the way it sort of looks. But anyway, that's what will be coming. And look, I think it's going to be a good fun game to play. Like it is a as I say, it's got all the things in there that make it look good. It's yeah, I'm sort of I'm impressed with what I've seen so far, and I like the amount of information that they've actually got with it as well. The tutorial mission is also really worth doing in that as well. Just by the way. All right. Okay. So Phobius is saying time limit missions is a red flag for me. You don't tend to notice it, to be honest. Like I'm playing on easy when I'm playing it at this stage, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not finding that time pressure is really kicking in. You can move halfway across the map in a single move, to put that into perspective. So it's not like you're rushing all the time. And I'm guessing if you play on the harder difficulty levels, you're going to have less time. But I'm finding it, I'm just setting up a position, defending for a little while, killing off the aliens, and then moving to the next position and just keeping on sort of rinsing and repeating that way, which has been good fun. What do you use mission rewards for? To buy gear or customize said gear? Yes, both, basically. It allows you to deck your guys out in different ways. So the teams are persistent as you play. Even if you play a random, like the campaigns or the operations will still just use a team of commandos. So you can build up a team of commandos over the course of playing the game over months or years, and actually have all this equipment for them. Which, for me, I don't know if I like that. That's probably one thing I don't really like. So William Thomas is saying kind of like Xeno 2 time units and all. To that degree, yes, it is. It is different. The thing with this one is the ability to push and pull objects around allows you to then create different sorts of walls, and so you can actually then create areas where you can dominate, like you can dictate where your fields of fire will be, and it works out fairly well with that one through there. Tenor is saying JA3 needs a pause option via spacebar or something on the tactical map. That would make the execution of strategies a lot smoother instead of the enemy moving around unnecessarily. That's by design, actually. I read about that because I felt the same thing. I didn't like the game initially when I played Jagged Alliance 3 because of that. But then the devs actually made they don't want people playing it as a stealth game, and so that was a design decision that they made to not put an active pause in the game, because by putting an active pause in means that you'll start to play with knife fighting and stuff like that, and they want it to be a tactical shooter, and so that's why they didn't put it in. And look, I think that's fine. They also did a similar sort of thing with the lack of percentages, but then they put out a mod at launch that allows you to play with percentages, and I prefer playing with that mod, to be honest, in Jagged Alliance 3. So I do prefer seeing the percentages. It hasn't impacted the way I play the game, but I do like to sort of see what they actually are. It gives me a better understanding as to what happens with the actual guns. Roger's saying, Tenry, there is a mod, that does active pause as well. Is there really? I didn't see that. Let's go and I know there's one for the to hit percentages. This is such a polished game. Inventory size, again, I don't mind that one. So there we go, active pause. Now that's Kavu. Let's put this one in. To break or prepare an ambush, just press install this mod and press space. I will actually test that because I do like my active pause. If you want it may be broken, as this feature is a developer mode part, you should not be, and that should not be widely available. For example, the game may go unresponsive if you try to pause while some cutscene is playing, or while the game is paused, you can't open a menu. Yeah, this is interesting. So, and so I'm respectful of what the devs want with this. So there's a bit of an argument going on in here. Mr. Muse is defending the developer, and I think rightly so. Someone must have had a crack about them that there should have been added, but it's understandable based on when you look at why they didn't put it included. You think, yeah, that's okay. It's great mod, should have been in the vanilla release. Yeah, which again, I guess it's up to the players how they want to play it. But if it was there, I know that I'd be playing it a very different way than the way I do play it. I still will load it in and see what it's like. So. They should add it to the game, but luckily we got it, so thanks a lot. And so glad the basic functionality works there. Any detail I'd like to see added is a basic UI element that says paused, because it can be a little tricky to notice when the game is paused or not. That aside, this is one of those quality of life details that should have been part of the main. Yeah, so people are thinking that, but again, and I thought that too. I thought that was I was ready to do a video about how bad not having that in there was, until I then read about it, and I think that Mr. Muse has said that. So I guess you didn't watch this dev diary, which included the original creator's input. That's actually, I did watch that, and that's what changed my mind as well. Brad from THQ, the producer, says that a lot of these things screw with the game's balance so much that you'd actually have to make two separate games to include them as options and still keep the challenge. In other words, using them now is nothing more than a cheat mode. Ian pretty much says that the RTWP change between, I don't know what that is, between JO1 and 2 was only due to changes in game trends. His overarching opinion is that they made the game less of a mystery and too formulaic, and stated that they wanted something he always wanted to avoid for the series. So it's fine for players can choose to add these through the workshop, but to say that they should have been included is kind of ignorant of the developer intent and process, which is true, which is very, very true. So I do support the comment, but I do also like to have, I like to be able to play games where I want to play the games as well. So now reading through there a little bit. So yeah, that's cool. I didn't realise that there was a mod there for that one. Where are we up to? It'd be smart for the devs to add it as a setting, given how unpopular the lack of it has been. It is. Like I can see it. It will seem like an oversight, but it is on purpose that they did it. Stellar Tactics, similar. I don't know Stellar Tactics. I haven't played it. So Tenra is saying I don't have it on Steam, and you can download Steam mods directly. Yes, Gratian saying, Daz, have you done a YouTube series on this? I would watch a game or two of this. For USC, I only picked it up yesterday or the day. Actually, no, I picked it up before I went on holidays, but I haven't had a chance to play it, and I will be doing a video on it today. I'll be playing through one mission in the game just to go through it, because there's a lot you can do in when you do play it. It is good fun. I'm right at the very end of a run with another group in USC. It's a really, really nice little game. I'm guessing that's what you're referring to. So people are saying to Bart Junkie, I feel a bit sorry for the JA3 devs. They've said that they didn't want to be an XCOM clone, but and that's true. With they mentioned a lot of games. They didn't want it to be XCOM. They didn't want it to be Commandos. They wanted it to be Jagged Alliance. And I think that they, like, from a development thing, I think they did what they had to do, and I think it's a great game. Forbus saying demo was actually for me a terrible first impression. I think you're referring again to the USC. I'm guessing because that it's interesting to read the comments with this, and I did actually have the demo of this one, and I did play it, and it was hard to pick up because I didn't actually have any good information about it. So if we just go to the discussions. That's a trailer. There we go, Stellar Tactics. So I don't know Stellar Tactics, I'll have to look that one up. Top-down XCOM, I'm in, yep, it's a nice game. Worst tutorial of all time. It's so badly designed. Yeah, when was that? That was from February. This is from when the demo. The tutorial is actually very good now. Is actually very good. Yeah, look, the tutorial really does a good job, I've got to say. It's I played that first, and that it didn't take very long to play, but it explained everything in very, very nice way of doing it all as well. So that has been addressed. And I think that will be a large reason that people actually will be turned away from the game is the demo. The demo was not very well received. Yeah, you can see there the dates of these are fairly old. So USC, yeah, look out for it. It's I think it's going to be good now. It looks like Stellar Tactics. It's a developer. Yeah, so Counterforce is made by a team of 2 developers, so the size of the project is different. It's funny, I don't know Stellar Tactics. We might look that one up. It's old as well, isn't it, really? Very positive. Still early access, that's interesting. Okay. That looks like it's got better camera angles. Yeah, this is actually it's still got stuff coming out as well. A squad of space mercenaries explore a vast universe with 160,000 plus star systems. Actually, this looks awesomely good. Okay, I'm going to have to put that on my little list of games to follow up. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. I do like getting these recommendations from you guys. So Tinner is saying, yeah, kill the first half via stealth and the rest via combat. Tinner is saying I'm still playing JA3 as a stealth game. I think you'll be frustrated if you do. I was playing it. I was trying to play it as a stealth game for so long. I mean, you can still play it sort of as a stealth game, but I wanted every kill to be still in stealth mode, and that's not what they want you to. That's not how they want you to play it. Yes, Kastner saying such a polished game. Let's unpolish it. If polish you means strip mine for the modern audience, then yes, I agree. Very, very polished. I was saying I've never liked Jagged Alliance. It is too real for me. It certainly is. The realism in it is very, very high. It really is actually. It's the production values in it are just amazing. So Tenor is saying I prefer having fun instead of playing how the dev wants me to, and that's true as well. There should be options to play however you want to be playing the game, but I found I was frustrated when I didn't play the way the devs wanted me to play, and then when I did play the way that the devs wanted me to play, I enjoyed the game enormously, and it really did. It changed my outlook playing Jagged Alliance when I stopped playing my way. And just went along with the flow, and after that it was so much more fun. I was so frustrated. I was save scumming like crazy, just trying to get like a simple knife kill. I just couldn't do it, and it drove me nuts. And then that's why I went looking for information about it, and that was when I saw why they designed certain things, and I thought, okay, I'll try it that way. And then all of a sudden, the game just came to life for me. I just absolutely loved it. Dom UK is saying RTWP is real time with pause. Okay, so active pause then. Yeah, all right. Real time with pause. Yeah, okay. Silvercall is saying, has Daz Internet's broken again? Internet, I guess. Hope he's back. Must have been me. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't think I've got no drop frames. I do look at the little green button a fair bit, and usually my chat will then drop out as well, and that hasn't dropped out. Dominic's saying, I thought you meant his intern. I was like, Daz has an intern? Sort of. Mad Hat Raven necessarily got stellar tactics and have enjoyed it. Solo developer, hence the longer early access period. I do like early access, I've got to say, in games, and particularly if they keep on developing them like that. Okay, so by Red is saying, by the way, Daz, do you have Falling Frontier on your radar? Yes, I do, but I don't know when that's going to be released. So, but that's another game that I am looking forward to. Okay, so Chikanook is then saying, much wow, first time this year I catch your stream, different time zones, so different. Yeah, it's I'm actually I do most of my streaming outside of the Australian time zones, just so I've got fast internet access. The things I do for you guys, wow, like I get up at like 1 o'clock in the morning just to do these things. Roger's then saying to battle mode, completely disagree. JO3 is very much in the same spirit as JO1 and 2 as a game in 2023 could be, with no depth stripped away. But if you prefer to play the older games, they're still there. Not sure what that was just in disagreement about. I like people disagreeing with battle mode. No, not really. Oh, here we go. Ben's trying to damage the stream by giving the dreaded word theocrat. So the stream will now this will now be the end of YouTube again. So Roger's then saying also you're probably comparing to JA2 1.13, which is not canon. Battleman saying he's gone again. So we're saying, sorry, I'm using my tablet keyboard and it's terrible. David's saying, is internet that bad in Australia? It's not that bad. It's just that like if you do things, particularly if I'm trying to sort of stream or anything, it's actually not bad, I've got to say. Even like during the day, it's not bad as well. But there are certain times, like when the kids come home from school, for example, that the internet does noticeably slow down. But it isn't great in Australia. The internet, I think it's because we're such a big country with such a small population, and they made a choice to go with what is it? Sort of like with fibre instead of through Wi-Fi type delivery. So Australia is being all wired up, and it's a massive country, so it's bigger than most other countries. So it makes the internet. They made some bad choices, 5 or 10 years ago with the internet for Australia, or reasonably bad. I mean, it's I guess it's average for a lot of other countries, but it could be better. Okay, so Battlemode saying JO2 equals CRPG/tactics/management sim/logistics/strategy, and so Battlemode saying JO3 is just equals tactics. Not exactly sure what you mean there, Ben, but anyway. So Trank is saying, just an insomniac. It's funny though. Like we went away for the weekend, and I managed to sort of sleep all night, until the morning, which I don't normally do. I think it might be just the pull of the computer, sort of saying, hey, you can come and play this or play that. So I don't take computers with me when I go on holidays. Silvergill saying, Falling Frontier looks magnificent. My message is better game of the year. It does look incredible, actually. It's funny because it looks like it's been pegged back a little bit in what they're going to be delivering. So Battlemode saying, just the lack of line of sight has completely changed the game for the worse. In Jagged Alliance 3, it does have line of sight. It gives you all the information. From memory? I thought you could actually do all that. Roger's saying all those elements are in Jagged Alliance 3. And Butt Junkie is saying internet in Australia varies from great to awful depending on your specific connection. Yeah. So Roger's saying there is line of sight though. Yeah. So Subical saying internet in Oz requires line of sight. No, I think we're talking about Jagged Alliance 3 there. That'll saying, sorry, Daz, I thought you'd been knocked offline again. Yeah, with you try to sabotage it by saying theocrat, which is the magic word to get the channel demonetized on YouTube. For me, it has been anyway. Monkey Shine is saying Jagged Alliance 3, is it worth it? Yes, it is. In fact, I'm going to do a comparison we'll do that now, actually. I mean, I've gone past when I normally do the giveaway, but I will actually do it. And Tenor is saying you need to pick up and choose groups of enemies. I finish 2 to 4 man groups without the rest of the enemies realising anything, but you do trigger combat with that group. Equals dev stealth. So it's sort of, but I found it frustrating trying to do it. And then I found that I was not putting my guys in the best position. That's sort of what I found until I started to play the way the devs wanted me to play with it. Anyway, let's go and have a look. I've actually already set it all up here. This is the we're comparing Xenonauts 2 with Jagged Alliance 3. I'm just going to grab myself a drink of water. Be right back. Here we go. So, just released a few days earlier than so Jagged Alliance released on the 14th. It's got nearly 15,000 players right now, whereas Xenonauts released on the 18th, and it's got nearly 2,000 players. So, still very much in the early days for these games. That's just comparing, how it sort of did go for them. And again, when you actually look at this one through here, it's the numbers for Jagged Alliance haven't really changed much. I mean, it is in the launch week, and of course, Xenonauts is the poor cousin for this one. And again, its numbers haven't really changed much as well, really from its launch. It's a fairly soft launch though, really, for Xenonauts at only 3,400, which is sort of funny. Like on the same day, 21,000 were still playing Jagged Alliance. Jagged Alliance certainly is a much more polished game. I do worry a little bit about Xenonauts with the price of it. I think their price point is too much. But is it a niche game? And I don't think it is. I wouldn't class Xenonauts as a niche game. But it's anyway. That's just comparing the two in through there. I do think that based on the price point, and I think at the moment Xenonauts is cheap. So while it's got money off, I think it's worth it's. I think they're 50-50. But overall, Jagged Alliance for me has got more polish to it than Xenonauts, just in terms of its actual production values. I mean, much bigger teams, of course, sort of putting it together. But the price point, as I say, for Xenonauts, if you had to pay full price for it, I'd be probably erring on the side of Jagged Alliance 3. But at the moment, for me, it's very 50-50. So... here we go. So Rex Teos is saying, I look forward to watching Daz drink that water. Here we go. There's the water there. I won't drink all of it. All right. So, okay. So Chickanook saying, just check Australia internet speed, 88 megabits per second average. Wow. Surprisingly, Russia above average given our size, so 113. Not China's 280, but pretty good anyway. Australia's okay. It's with its internet speed. It's not awesome, but it does drop dramatically when the kids get home from school. It's sort of, you do notice it. And of course, everyone's now got with their televisions, it's all internet driven, TV, etc. Subical's saying at least your internet doesn't get rained off though. Yeah. So Phobius is saying X2 is early access and JA3 is a full game. Is it fair to compare them? I think that you still get a feel for what Xenonauts will provide. The experience of playing Xenonauts is a full game experience. It's a polished experience. And look, to be honest, I love both games. So personally, I like both of them. I just think that Xenonauts will never have the polish of Jagged Alliance, even when it's finished. It just never will. It's very different. And a big part of that is that in Xenonauts you're playing with teams of units where you might have to sort of like be managing maybe 20 or 30 characters that you are trying to develop up. So you're not getting a direct connection with the characters. Whereas in Jagged Alliance 3, you're dealing with maybe 4 or 5 initially, and then maybe a few more after that. But you're dealing with a very small handful of units in Jagged Alliance where you do get that immediate connection or deep connection with the characters and the character interaction that you don't get with Xenonauts, and that does make it into a different sort of game, and that will never change. So for me, I think they're both great games. I do enjoy playing them equally. Probably actually, in one sense, I probably enjoy playing Xenonauts more than Jagged Alliance, just in an ongoing sort of way. But I think that may just be because I've been having a lot of fun with doing live streams of it, because again, if a character dies, I get to ban people who have named that particular character. And that's actually one of the good things about Xenonauts for me, is that it's as a live streaming game, it's brilliant because every single character can be named, and that makes it a lot more fun as a live stream than something like Jagged Alliance. So Jagged Alliance, great game, but when I'm thinking of it in terms of if I was recommending it for somebody who wasn't live streaming it, who was just going to be playing it, I think that Jagged Alliance is a much more polished game. Chicken saying Xenonauts is 100% niche game, not on the player-based dev. His mum, his 2 friends, and 4 new channels level, but still pretty niche. It is niche, but then, yeah, could you argue that Jagged Alliance is as well? No, Jagged Alliance is more mainstream, isn't it? Really, it's it's a double A game, whereas Xenonauts is really an indie game. So Silberkill saying that Xenonauts 2 has been in development a very long time for what it is. I kickstarted it over 5 years ago now. Wow, yeah, it has been, and there was points in its development that people thought it had been abandoned, and it was always being developed. And I think that when Hooded Horse became involved in the production of it and helping with the production and just helping with the management, I think that's when we started to get like a lot more interaction with the, of actually finding out more about what was happening with the game. I know that when Hooded Horse, and it wasn't that long ago that Hooded Horse did actually step in and help out with that side of things. It was sort of like, it was almost like a sigh of relief knowing that, okay, it's going to happen. Like you just knew it was going to then happen at that point. And of course, then you've also then got the problem or potential problem of a developer pushing a game out before it's ready. And you could almost argue that for Xenonauts 2, there's not enough stuff in their roadmap that's been finished off yet. That should have probably, some of the stuff should have been finished there. Like it doesn't even have like an end game in there yet, from what I can understand. I haven't got to that far in, but that may be something just where the publisher, like Hooded Horse, may have said, look, we're going to need to start to monetize the game better, and so that may be why it's released. But from my perspective, I've been finding it a great game. It's been very stable. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've played a long way into it and really, really enjoyed it, like a hell of a lot. It really is an amazingly good game, and just the difference between it and Xenonauts 1 for me is dramatically much better. Like it's each mission feels so unique in just the way that it's all sort of put together. I'm really, really impressed with Xenonauts, Xenonauts 2 anyway. Castner saying, a bit disappointed at Xeno 2 release. Been wishlisted since 2019, expected even after the EA launch that more systems would have been included. Still thinking Xenonauts 2 will be good when completed. I think, like, if you know specifically what it is that you like, because even things like, for example, the air combat, it does recommend you to auto do those. I think it still does. I don't know if it does it even right now, but it's still playable. Like, it's just that I know that I do a lot worse than what the auto resolve does. So I just tend to auto resolve it, but it still looked good. I know there's a lot coming. We'll have a look at Xenonauts actually. Actually, we'll just go back out from here, and I'll just go and set up another. Let's go into here. Just keep that one there, so after the stream finishes, I can follow up about Stellar Tactics, because that does look pretty amazing. Okay, so we've got Xenonauts 2. There is a roadmap. Actually, maybe I'll just do it through the actual game itself, because it does link straight out to it now. Yeah, what's it rating at? 75%. It's not bad, really. Like, you know, that's pretty good for an early access game. Just have a look for roadmap. Yeah, I'm not seeing it there. Anyway, I'll just look it up. I'll start the game and we'll have a bit of a look at the roadmap, because there is a lot that's still to come, but it does still play very well. As I say, I prefer it over Jagged Alliance 3, but that's mainly because I'm live streaming it, and I like it's more fun to live stream than Jagged Alliance. Just take a little bit of time to load in. All right, so yeah, Castanar saying Xeno 2 shouldn't really be considered niche with the similarity to popularity of XCOM, surely. Yeah, see, for me, Xenonauts 2 is not like a niche game. Is Dominions, niche game is Shadow Empire. Those sort of games, they're examples of niche games that have done very, very well. But if you compared, like, imagine if you had the playing numbers of Dominions or Conquest of Elysium, and you had built a game like Jagged Alliance, like, it would be a failure, an absolute failure. But for a fairly low production value type game, and Xenonauts is sort of higher production values than a lot of those other games, but it's still in that lowish end. And so, is it niche? It's not quite niche, is it? Really, it's a bit higher than niche. So for me, a niche game is something that hardly anyone plays, but is still very, very popular. You know, like, and I guess a lot of war games are in that sort of category. If we go to roadmap. So here we go. We're planning to add the following content to the game during our early access period. So tutorial, tick, it's done. Additional maps, which is good, and they've been building those all the time as well. The alien andron, so the different type of alien, cruiser UFOs, ultimate interceptors, fusion weapons, ending cinematics. So they don't have cinematic at the end there yet. So it says the roadmap is not exhaustive and may change during development. Air combat revamp, Soviet town biome, alien Reaper Bull. Yep, so there's a different sort of... Actually, this I should be reading this way. So we go from tutorial, air combat revamp, all AI upgrades. The AI is pretty damn good, I've got to say, in the game. Like, it's actually, I've been unpleasantly surprised in the terms of just how aggressive and how well the AI does do. So if it gets even more attention, that could be quite difficult. The additional maps, Soviet town biome, Operation Endgame. I'm not sure what that actually is. More aliens coming back through there, which is awesome. It's already got more aliens than what the original had, you know, and much more engaging the way that they sort of do operate. Cruiser UFO, Harvester UFO, Battleship UFO. Wow, that would be awesome. Ultimate Interceptor, Ultimate Dropship, Ultimate Armor, Fusion Weapons, Hover Tanks. Okay, I haven't got anywhere close to that yet. I know that was in Xeno 1. Alien Psionics, ending cinematic mod tools, which would be really awesome as well. Then any other community suggestions, which I think that I hope that the game is popular for the long haul, and I think it will be. It's not the sort of game that people are going to get sick of quickly. Like it does. It does look like it's going to have a fairly long life. So, you know, just over time, I guess, and then I'm guessing that they'll then be able to bring in. I'm sort of almost surprised that some of these things haven't been split out as part of a DLC. Like, you know, to sort of to to make it so that they can actually have the actual release version of the game earlier at the expense of some of this stuff, and then bring it in as another paid DLC. I would have thought that would be sort of more what they would have done with that, to be honest. But anyway, we'll find out, I guess, over time as to what their plans are for the game itself. But it's, as I say, it's a great little game. Great little game. Just exit out of there. So now where are we up to? Castanar's saying, I thought Xeno 2 dev started around 2015. I think it's been around for an awfully long time. So Xeno 2 shouldn't really be considered niche with the similarity popular of XCOM, surely. XCOM, see, the XCOM game itself, the more modern version is well, the original version was back when games all looked like what they did. The new version did sort of take it into a more of a mainstream sort of play style. But I do think that Xenonauts 2 is on that area of it being niche, but not quite. Okay, so Tenor is saying I expected a full release, not early access. I'm happy with early access, to be honest. If we had have waited for full release, I think we'd be waiting for years, to be honest. It took so long to get to where we are, and I'm happy with what we've got. Chitanook is saying, I'm sure Xeno 2 have lower player numbers than new XCOMs, minus last one, Ultra City, I don't know that one, but it's still sizable. Can be worse. Some games have much less player base, like Battle for West North or Dominions 5. Yeah, it's and look, Dominions again is like it's only two brothers basically building the game, and that's it. They just do what they do. So we're going to say, I think they're brothers, aren't they? I'm just trying to think. I don't think I'm just getting that confused with Dwarf Fortress. I think are they just good friends? I can't remember now. I can't remember if they're friends from uni, the Illwinter guys, or two brothers. I can't recall. Anyway, my mind's sort of now confused about what I've just thought there. Someone in the chat will no doubt correct me. Silberg saying the same here. It's a great game, but glacial progress. James is saying, anyone know what the next Age of Wonders 4 update arrives out of beta and into the game? It's not very far off, actually. That is not far off at all, because they're already preparing for it. And if we have a quick look at what it's got there. Yeah, by Reddit saying, Dwarf Fortress is made by two brothers. Yeah, I just can't remember if they're friends from uni days, like way back, or two brothers at Illwinter. Yeah, I just can't remember. Let's have a look and see. I may be thinking more of the uni friends, but I just can't recall what it actually is. What are we going to look up? We're going to look up Age of Wonders, because they have certainly been getting this ready. It's interesting. It's gone from very positive 80% down to mixed 66%. So that's interesting as well. Like, there is certainly a dissonance that's happened with Age of Wonders 4, which is really, really interesting to see it happening. I wasn't expecting that to happen like what it actually has happened. All right, so if we go and have a look at Age of Wonders 4, where is it? Community Hub. There was some information about it. I think in their news, open beta 21st. Another week has passed since the open beta, and the feedback is still streaming in. So actually, I'll just click on that and have a bit of a look. So, as mentioned last week, we're finalising the development of the Watcher update, which means that we can't change text, so all future changes need to be as minimal as possible. We still have time to fix crashes, make balance changes and other tweaks. Bigger changes will need to wait until a future update. So, and then there's a heap of stuff that's going to be sort of bringing in for that one. You can still play what they're doing with the open beta, but the official one will be coming very, very soon. There's a whole lot of balance tweaks. I'm just trying to think of what's important. It's all important stuff if you play the game, but there are some balance changes certainly coming to the game itself. There's a lot that has actually been looked at. So even the tomes have been sort of tweaked around a little bit. They found that actually that you could actually, if you knew that you could actually bring in tier 1 tomes, you can actually just go through, get all the tier 1 tomes rather than going anywhere else and dominate the game that way. So you've got to rebalance them a little bit, which is quite funny. Yeah, there's a lot of changes coming. So I'm not sure when that will come, but there must be any day now. I don't think they'll actually announce it until they actually do release it. I don't think that they'll actually sort of do anything with that one. So where are we up to? So Rex is saying unrelated, but in Shadow Empire, hate fighting raiders without towns in mountain terrain. Tracking down and killing them is all time consuming, especially if you don't have air forces enabled. Yes, that is very, very. That's a pain in the ass. You've always got to wait for them to come in like off the mountains and then sort of surround them as fast as you can. Yeah, it's painful. Okay, so Chitanook's saying, well, here in Russia, old classic XCOM still cult classic. I bet it's at least as popular as the new remake or Xeno. For some reason, people here even Xeno 1 is too modern. Oh, really? Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so where are we up to? I'm just having a quick look. So Dom UK is saying, is Xenonauts 2 maps generated or an extent or fixed? A little bit of both. I think the way it sort of works is that they have a tile system where they essentially bring in random tiles for some of the maps. The spaceships have got different designs for different spaceships, so they've got and they're building more and more internal layouts. So they will just be, when you actually get an alien spaceship, if it's big enough, it will then have a random layout for that. Some of the maps are fixed, like when you go to the cleaner town and when you go to the cleaner base. I think that they're both actually set in concrete. They're fixed maps, so it's a bit of everything really there. Gratian saying, all right, Daz, favourite Age of Wonders 4 leader, champion, wizard, king or dragon? For me, champion, actually. I like the champions because of the bonuses that you do get with the champions. So I like all of them, but I do probably err on the side of champion if I'm trying to not sort of min-max things. So because saying fixed to biomes, I believe. The map layouts are definitely different though when you do play them. So in fact, I think if you start a battle and then go back and reload the pre-battle, it'll have a different layout for the map when it does come in, I think. So where are we up to? So killing miners in Shadow Empire by surrounding them and letting them kill themselves through attacks if the terrain sucks. Yeah, you've got to then just leave. I just leave militia to do those sorts of things if I can do it, just sort of stop them from escaping. But it means you just got to keep forces away. Okay, Oliver's in saying it's quite hard for many niche strategy games to compete against the dumping prices of Civ 6 or Anno and get a new player base. It is. It's one of those things where they have to charge a high amount for their games, like when they do have a niche game. To be able to sort of then justify putting the time into the development. So it is one of those things, unfortunately, where it means that if you are a follower of niche games, you end up paying a fair bit more for those games than other games. But I think if you do like niche games, you tend to do that anyway. I know that I get most of my games now through developers, wanting to sort of promote their games, which is great for me. But I'm still mindful of when I did have to buy all the games, I had to be very, very judicious. The one game that I still remember agonising over, like literally for weeks before I made the choice to go and buy it, was Distant Worlds, the original Distant Worlds. That was a game I sat on for a long period of time. Couldn't get any information because everyone else was doing the same thing, and that was not a niche game. That was much more mainstream than any other game that at that stage that Matrix actually had, where they were. So Dom is saying it makes some players of niche games patrons. They're modern Italian princes. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to do the giveaway now, guys. So let's go and open her up, Nightbot. Now, the game I am giving away today is actually Sunless Sea, which we've given away a couple of times, but people haven't picked up. It's been given away to people who've already had the game before. So we'll just go and I think it'll just automatically go in. Yeah, looks like we're okay. So this will be for Sunless Sea. If you just join in anyway, and if you like, even if you don't want the game, and that way I can give it, because this is my last key that I've got to give away. So I'll try this one again and see if we can actually give it away. If someone wins it who doesn't want the game, that's fine. We can just give it away again in the future some other time. So I just have to try to get some more keys to give away over the coming weeks. Okay, so let's go to giveaways. Go to keyword, and I'll just put the word win in there. So if you can just type the word win in chat, you can then be part of the marble game. It's going to be Sunless Sea is the actual game we're giving away. I'll just go and find this one in here. So just so you can sort of see what it looks like. Sunless Sea. So it does rate pretty high, 84%, and recent times 74%. So it's a game basically where you're in like a submarine, sort of moving around. I haven't played it for a fairly long period of time, but just even if you don't want the game, just please jump in, and then we'll sort of go forward and see how we go. So Oliver's saying, I love the marble game. It's great, isn't it? It's such a cool way to do a giveaway. It's very, very cool. I like it a lot. Let's just go and get our list ready. Get rid of everyone. There we go. Delete. Okay, so we'll... All right, Sorbical saying, but I win, but I already own it. I'm hoping that you've put your name down to win. I mean, if you already own it, that's fine, because it just means I can give it away next week. Otherwise, at least we're playing for a prize when it's done this way. So where is it? We've got that one through there. Nightbot giveaways. So Chickenook also hasn't actually typed the word win, but I'm going to still put you guys in if you don't mind. So you're still going to be part of the action. And we'll just go down to the bottom there. All right. So and Ricardo Pavia. Yep, you're in there. Great. So you're the last one in the list. Just go and grab those. 36 today. That's good. And I'll put my own name in there as well. Trank saying, just here for the marbles. And London Tube, you weren't in there, were you? Okay, we'll pop you in here. And just do a find and replace. Do a save. And Regulus. Regulus, there we go. There we go. So we've got everyone in, I think. So Drexy's saying, sorry, been getting ready for work. What's the giveaway? So, well, Drexy, you're in anyway now. Is it just 1X? Yep, that looks better. So, yes, the giveaway is Sunless Sea, which has been passed back in a few times, but it's like a number of people have already got it. All right, so we've got 40 in the run, so we'll just close it off there, and we'll open up Marble Run. So good luck, guys. Good luck. Here we go. Yep, Tenor is saying Sunless Sea is the game. And what I'll get you, whoever wins it, I'll give you my email address at the end of this, and if you can just then contact me with that, that would be awesome. So we need to go to race, just go to the settings. Oops, hang on, we need to pick one first. So I'll just use custom names, names, clear that one, finish. Open those. 40. All right, so we'll go and play Frozen today. I don't know if we've played that one before. Simulation, and in we go. Okay, good luck. I think we have played this one before. Here we go. So yeah, we have done this one before, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to be a fun one. So I think that people do fall off this particular one. So we'll start the race. Good luck, guys. Good luck. Here we go. Who's Shifty's in the front? Miguel. I think we played this just a few weeks ago. Kevin McGilligan. Or Kevin Milligan, not McGilligan. And CB as well. So Kevin, I think, is still actually technically in the lead there. Yeah, Kevin's just hit the lead there, but then got caught up in the front bit here. So it looks like Brendan is, or Antonio. Tiny Mutant Squid. Yeah, I think Antonio might be slightly in the lead. We look at this through here. Yeah, Antonio's slightly leaning. Oh, he's gone up the wrong way. And Tiny Mutant Squid's gone straight through with Greg and Castanar. So they're the three leaders. By Red, got Kevin coming in behind, Oliver Wiedemann. Got Drexy back over the other side. We've got Chinese Lettering, Sorbicol. Where's the others now? Here we are. This is the lead in through this side. We've got Greg out in front, followed by Oliver, by Red, Kevin Mulligan, and the other side. Actually, a bit of a boost along through this side as well. Sorbicol. Can't see the one in the middle there. Anyway, they're coming around. Oliver's doing fairly well. I don't think anyone's fallen off yet. So we'll get to this next one here. So here comes Greg. Greg followed by Oliver. Oliver's doing fairly well. Sorbicol coming the other way. But Greg actually does have a pretty clear lead, followed by Drexy back over this side. Mad Hat, Chinese Lettering, Sapior, by Red over the other side. They've gone through that little weird area. Drexy's actually now hit the lead out of that particular group. Let's have a look and see who's got the lead in here. It's Oliver and Drexy now coming down into this particular area. It's going to go straight through with Drexy's gone the wrong way. Oliver and Greg have come this way, and actually, I thought he was off the map, but he's not. So Drexy's finally made his way through now. So he's actually just coming through now. So he's a long way behind. He really did get stuck in through there. Chinese Lettering on the other side is about even now with Oliver, and then we'll just see who comes out through this other side. This will be the looks like here comes Greg. He's got the lead back from Ridiculous. We've got Jamison, Lucia, Chinese Lettering coming fourth now up in that one through there. Sorbical's now hit the lead up through that side. Here comes Greg. Greg has gone straight through, and same as Ridiculous. Jamison coming through, Oliver Wiedemann. Big congestion back in through that other side. God, this what happened to Drexy? Did he fall off? No, he's coming sixth apparently. There he is. They've gone through this particular list and through this side. I think Greg is still leading the way here. Yes, we're not seeing anyone from the other side just yet. So Sorbicol is the only other one from the other side. Reed has now come back through this other side as well. Here comes Sorbicol from the other area coming third, but a long way behind. Here we go. Drexy's actually coming fourth. Robert Barron, Dom UK. Let's have a look and see. And this is actually for the final little piece. So it's Greg on one side, and we've got Greg is now clearly in the lead, and Reed is coming the other way. This is it, guys, for the win. Greg has won it. Sorbical's come second. So congratulations, Greg. You are the winner of the marble run. No one fell off either, I don't think. Just let everyone sort of make their way in. Most of them have actually done it. I don't think we have done this one. We did a frozen one where there was ice on the track, which people were falling off for that one there. But that was a good run. So congratulations, Greg. Well done. Drexy's saying, I just want to beat Shifty. Well, you did. You came in seventh there, Drexy. So well done, guys. Now what I'll do is I'm just going to give Greg, if you can contact me via email, I'll just put that one in there. So it's just daz@daztactic.com. I will then send you the Steam key, and you can have the game. It is a good game, very, very good game. So, congratulations, and again, I guess we'll sort of leave it here, guys. We've just got Lawrence as the last member to come from the top. Finally made it. There we go. We have the winner, Greg. Greg is the actual final results in through there. So he did it in 3 minutes 26 seconds, and Lawrence did it in 4 minutes 33 seconds. So almost actually more than a full minute between first and last. So anyway, well done. So Christian saying, "Geez, Lawrence, what are you doing back there?" So anyway, that's great. So if you can just send me an email, I'll then get the key out to you that way. Or if you, I can't unfortunately whisper here, but if you're on my Discord or anything like that, you can just chat to me on Discord as well, whichever you prefer. Anyway, guys, going to leave it there. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back again next week. And it's sort of funny, this week I thought we'd be talking, we did talk about Dominions, but I thought we'd be talking more about Dominions. But then when I sort of saw Crimson Tactics and also USC were coming out tomorrow, I thought I'll make the show mainly about them today. We'll have to find some other games next week, I guess.